honestly. I think it's gonna be just another good one.
Yeah, we're just trying to keep up with the Joneses as far as what's been going on today because stuff has just popped up left and right. It felt like Monday all over again.
Today really felt like a Monday, and there's a lot of stuff happened. I'm not even talking about like, just in gaming or whatever. I mean, you talking about like, they put John Lewis to rest, and then Herman Cain passed, and then Trump talking about delaying the election. It's just so much bullshit going on. I was like, I can't deal.
Yeah, the
So
sad thing is he can't do anything about when the
no,
election
they
is. It is
no
what it is, and only Congress has the power to do that. So fuck him.
right, exactly. It's just the fact that, anytime he tweets something, everybody goes wild. And on a day like this, you didn't need nothing like that.
Right. It was 100 degrees outside, and it's like,
Yeah. So, nevertheless, people who are here now, you see what the title is. Basically, 2K has the NFLPA license, which is something I thought. Um, basically, I just thought it was something that they should have got all along because I didn't think that. I thought both was two different type of licenses you can get. Like you can get the teams and the logos, or you can get the players. I always thought they were separate, but nevertheless, what we know now is that the NFLPA license is secured with 2K as well as the other license that they got when they can actually use the logos and teams. So now this is a big game changer. Whatever that we expected earlier, arcade, sim, whatever the case may be. This is huge because it's going to be really interesting to see how they can skirt around that. What's going on? Scott O'Gallagher is here. What's going on? Show just started. No, Bills hasn't stranded anyone yet. Not yet. This is
Don't
episode
worry, we
162.
have plenty of time, Scott OG.
Exactly. This is episode 162 of the First and Framerates podcast. A lot is going to
wait, wait,
be.
wait, wait, hold up. What number is this episode?
Is it 162?
Yeah, just like Major League Baseball should be. All right, continue.
Oh, hush. You almost had me confused. Thought I had the wrong number again.
Nah, do you have it? You've been good on that for ever since for like the last 100 and something episodes. So just like the amount of wins that Houston thought they could have and win a World Series without cheating, and they lose to the Nationals. All right, keep going.
All right. So like I said, there's a 162 first and frame rates. Gonna talk about 2K getting its license. What does it mean for us gamers and the series itself? Because the series haven't been going since 2007. And if you want to be technical with NFL, it hasn't been around since 2004. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about, not only about the license itself, the other license that we talked about before, we're going to add that on. And we're going to talk about possible gameplay because I know Bills has a couple of ideas that he want to talk about with that as well. With that being said, you can find us on Discord. Join the Discord like I put at the bottom of the screen. You can also catch us on Google Play, iTunes, and SoundCloud. DJ has his own website, dj81.org. Check that out. And they also have Twitch channels that I'm pretty sure they're going to promote. And going to let Bills go first. What's been going on the past couple of days?
Um, just sitting back watching the world burn. And, everybody in their emotions today about different things. I'm just sitting back, kind of laughing at it all, and gonna roast some people this episode. What else is new?
I don't know if it's just me. I just wanted to give you a heads up. You sound a little bit low. I don't know if it's just me, but I just wanted to give you a heads
He
up.
sounds distant from
Yeah,
the
yeah, it sounds like he's on the other side of the room. I just wanted to,
like you literally sound like you're chilling.
yeah. When you
You hear
say
me
he's
now?
chilling, it's the truth. Yeah, yeah, we hear you. But when you say you're chilling, it sounds like you're chilling for real.
I was kind of far back from my mic. My fault.
See, told you.
Close enough.
Because I
All
got this
right,
fan going. I don't want the fan blowing on the mic. It's kind of like a weird setup I have.
I
Mm.
got you. I got you. All right, DJ man, what's been going on with you?
Man, nothing much. I had a nice little stream yesterday on the Evo 325 channel on Twitch. Had a little State of Decay action going. I know Bill saw part of it. I don't know if you saw all of it or was there for all of it, but it had a
I
nice little
saw part
interaction.
of it, but I had to run out.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
gotcha.
watched the after stream.
Yeah, so it was got a nice little bit of interaction. Got a couple, I think 1, 2 new followers from that stream. So starting fast. So I wasn't expecting that, and it was a good turnout. And yeah, I'm sitting here chilling, watching the world burn. I'm watching myself burn up because it was 100 degrees outside, and watching the Mystics beat the shit out of the Seattle Storm right now. So that's really all I got.
Okay. Oh, and speaking of streaming, I got a little update. I'm going to still be streaming here. I thought I was going to go back to Twitch, but I decided to take a different avenue. Just want to see how this goes. All my sports stuff is going to be here on YouTube. The non-sports stuff, like not necessarily Last of Us 2, I'm going to finish that on this channel. But everything after that going forward will be on Facebook Gaming. I already set that up. I actually put up it's in the works to finish off the Facebook page that I made for First and Frame Rates. Once I get that together, I'll put the link out there so you guys can follow us there as well. For the people who still use Facebook or just go to it every now and then, I'll have that up and so you can put your own comments in the on the page, as well as I'll be using that avenue to do Facebook gaming. All the non-sports gaming stuff will be over there. But like I said, the Madden 08s, NCAA 14, the Madden 2021, NBA 2K, all that stuff, the sports streams on Sundays, all that's gonna still be here. But if I'm planning on doing Modern Warfare 2 remaster, that will be over there. So but that's not going to happen no time soon because I still got to get it all set up. But I'll start putting the link in there once everything is right. Okay, Doug Thomas is in Arizona and he says it's 117 out there. Yeah, good luck with that.
Hey, you chose that one.
Yeah, but isn't it like dry heat out there? We got humidity over here.
Yeah, it is dry. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be standing outside on that though.
Nah, I wouldn't be standing outside. I had to do a drug test today, so it was one of those things.
Right.
Give me dry 117 over a humidity filled 95.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel you, but
you might as well be in a pool and get cooked like a duck.
All right, let's talk about this thing that's going on here, man. Big news came out today. Brian Mazik, shout out to him. Don't talk about him enough, but he does put out some decent, he does put out some decent information when it comes to sports games. It's kind of weird that you would think they're coming out of Forbes, but nevertheless, we still love it and love the information. Today, he put out an article about 2K securing the NFLPA license along with One Team Partners, which I never heard of them before. So, but we're going to get into all of that. Bills, I know you said you had a lot to say about this. So I'm going to let you go first, and you can give us some information of what you know. Do you have the article?
I thought
it's in the.
I know it is, but I just want to make sure you can see it and read it because DJ's going to be scrolling.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Okay, all right, because DJ's going to be scrolling. That's why I want you to make sure y'all on the same page. So there's the light. There's the.
Much...
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's not much in the article.
Is he still alive?
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I heard VF skipping. That's why I stopped talking.
Okay, no. Go ahead, man. It's just all over the place right now.
Oh yeah, I heard you lagging. That's why I stopped talking because I heard you lagging.
Now, can you see the mouse? Just like you see it moving.
Yeah, just go ahead and start talking. The DJ just follow.
Okay, go ahead. Bills?
Yo, no, here. I've been here the whole time.
Okay, we can't hear you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as you start, you go.
Can't hear me.
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Y'all hear me, and then when y'all start talking, it's like it starts lagging. I think it might be the sharing the screen thing.
Could be. Try it one more time.
Because it wasn't happening before you shared the screen.
Okay, then you want me to not share the screen? Just stop sharing the screen.
They can read. I mean, if you put it in the chat, they'll just be able to follow.
Yeah, put it in the chat. Yeah, all right, that sounds better. Okay,
we'll do that. Damn, that was
not
a fail.
yeah, there's not much in the article that I really want to go over. I have more to talk about as far as expectations, but the one thing that stuck out to me is this comment from presidents of NFL 2K. They said, "We want to give fans experiences that are authentic, memorable, and fun, and having a roster of real life sports heroes through the Players Association and one team is a huge part of delivering on that promise." Now,
Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. With the license that EA has saying they can do a simulation,
mhm.
how are they going to be able to give fans an experience that's authentic?
So this is what I was getting to. Me and DJ feel pretty much the exact same way about this. You cannot tell somebody how to make their game as far as how it moves. Because the thing about this is the sim community's been trying to come up with the definition of sim for ages. So you're telling me that EA has formulated some fake um some fake definition of sim and imposed it on anybody that makes a game now? That's basically what we're saying, because that's subjective. Simulation is subjective. You can't say what are the examples of shit that you can't put in your game? What is it? It can't be 11 on 11. Like what are we doing here? I mean, they have the likeness of the players. They have the numbers of the players. They have the uniforms. They have the names.
But see, that's what I was saying. I was thinking like simulation. I was just thinking basic, just 11 on 11. That's why I was saying earlier. Remember, I said they may make a game without the punters and the kickers.
But
But
remember
that's what
but remember the subjective part is that you got the CFL with their version of football. It's 12 on 12.
well
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
true.
what
it's I'm like arena football is what 7, 8
I think
on
it's
8,
seven. I think it's 7 to 7 or 8 on 8 or something like
and
that.
that's football. So it's just like yeah.
but then here's
After
the other thing.
hmm
The other thing is, let's go outside of the scope of the rules.
hmm
Uh do they like, and this is what I said to DJ before when we were talking offline. I said, is 2K gonna have to submit something to the NFL, and then the NFL sends it over to EA, and EA has a checklist of shit that can't be in the game? Because obviously there aren't shareholders in the NFL that are sitting here, or owners in the NFL coming up with a list of shit that makes a game simulation. So what are they basing it off of? When you say non-simulation game, I'm really confused as to what you're basing it off of. Because are you saying that the players can't be drawn to scale on the court? Like, I don't get what this non-simulation shit is. They're
Well,
basically telling you what you can and can't do in the game, and they're cherry picking things because they know they can't compete. That's really what it comes down to. They're cherry picking shit because they know they can't compete. That's why they're doing it. So
okay, yeah, because that's Brian Mazik. I mean, I think this is a part of the old article that he put. He said this agreement follows up an announcement that was in March when 2K got the license for the NFL teams logos in
hmm
multiple non-simulation football. See, this is the thing. How are you going to get this and then you turn around and you get the team, I mean the players, it's saying basically over 2,000 team play current NFL players.
yeah,
That's
hmm
almost basically the entire league.
yes.
So I'm looking at it now like, well, what kind of game will we look? I'm gonna let you keep going. I just got so many questions, but I'm gonna let you keep going.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like you have all that, and then you tell a company that they can't make a quote unquote simulation game. So does that mean that they're, like y'all have been saying, can't have 11 players on the field? Does that mean that it has to be cartoony? Because simulation is subjective. We've seen it throughout the community. Simulation is subjective. And let's be honest, we don't want to go down the rabbit hole of simulation with Madden, because you could say having a mode that has no fatigue isn't simulation. Could you not?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I
You
didn't
could
even think about
say
that.
you could say that having a mode where there are no penalties in an NFL game is not simulation. Could you not?
That's another good point.
You could say a mode where a guy automatically drops a pick because he has an ability is not simulation. I mean,
You can make the case that some of those abilities just don't make it simulation at
you
all.
can cherry pick a lot of shit if we're gonna go down the rabbit hole of simulation, and that's my point. So unless there is a clear, okay, let's see, hold on, before I go any further, CMAD said, in my opinion, Simulation means replication of the current active NFL season where you're using current rosters and current stats. That's head to head in CFM. Yeah, but here's my thing though.
No, but wait a minute, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
That's very interesting. If that, let's just say, for instance, that is the case. What if they just see DJ? You see what I'm thinking, right? What if they just flip that around and just don't even replicate an active season? Why don't they just?
But I said that. That was one of the things that I said. I said what they can do is like if they really want to tiptoe the line, what they can do. How about you just make a game where you do have a season mode, maybe not a franchise, you do have a season mode, but the games aren't in the orders that they are in real life.
What if they actually do say
simulating it?
Bills? What if they just do a 12-game season?
They could do it. They could do a 15-game season.
Yep.
See, the thing I see is that EA is right there. Like you were saying earlier, they're trying to tell people how to do a football game and stuff like that. But I know you and I discussed it just like you said earlier. I feel like they're at the point where they have a monopoly on the sport.
Yes.
Which in this country is illegal
by
definition. So
and you remember the example I gave you before, which I'm going to bring up after you finish.
Right. So there's not one way you can define simulation. I'm like, should try to pinpoint what it is in football is the mere definition of insanity. Like I said, you have the CFL with their rules. That's simulation football. All of it is simulation football. Physics, people that play. I'm like, you can have dogs play football, and that's football. I'm like, that's how far you can literally go. And EA is at this point where they are trying to tell. That's why other companies have not been able to make a game, or they've been afraid to make a game because for some reason EA is given this, authority on football.
Right.
So the NFL, unfortunately, enabled all this. I'm like, the history we all know about. We don't have to revisit, how this came about. But EA is at the point where them securing a license now for the next 4-5 years.
They got until 2026.
Right, enables them to have a monopoly on the sport itself.
And here's the example. Here's the example that I use. Like, let's say that is the case, and they're talking about things that are not just the NFL format, as C-Matt alluded to, but also how the game can play, right? It would almost be like, and I told DJ this before, VF, it would almost be like if one record label had the exclusive rights to make rock and roll songs and produce and release rock and roll songs. And every time somebody released a song that was even close to rock and roll, they had to send over a copy, send over a rough draft to that music label and that music group, and they would have to sit and analyze it and nitpick and say, these are things that are elements that are in rock and roll that you cannot have. So that means you cannot have a solo in the middle of a song because that's an element of rock and roll. That means there are certain chords you cannot play, certain instruments. That is what this is like, if that's the case. Now, we don't know, and that's why we've been asking for months to see exactly what simulation means in this realm. But if they're, basically cherry picking on certain things, like I said, the players can't be drawn to scale, or the way the players move has to be a certain way. It has to be over the top and things like that. There's no real way to assess simulation. Like you said, there's no definition. It's subjective.
And
right. You on point. I'm 100% with you. I mean, I was gonna try to say the same thing, but you beat me to it. You're right there on point.
I mean, so that's the thing. I like y'all's ideas of 12-game season and not having the playoff format and maybe not having the preseason format, not having the same amount of players on the roster. There's a lot of things that they can do. They can still have football, but maybe, they can still have simulation, as far as we look at it, realistic football. But maybe they just have to do certain things that go against what the NFL has regulations wise, as far as, like I said, players on the roster. They can probably still do the same
Yeah,
with players on the field, but
yeah. I think at one point we did kind of get caught up in gameplay, and maybe gameplay, like we said earlier, they can't technically tell them how to what animations or what can be on the
Right.
field. But I think what we're saying, like with the X amount of games or how many people on the roster, you can't use like Super Bowl, you can't use divisional, playoff, or you can't even use the playoff format and stuff like that. I think that would negate whatever they're trying to talk about.
See, what I'm thinking is that if if this whole like I said, the whole license is based around the NFL. If you're talking about simulation as far as the NFL, then that should leave it open to have a simulation CFL game out there. A
or
possible
simulation with the players, like you said before,
right,
generic teams and the NFLPA, which
right.
is another interesting thing.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if they just use the players, use the likeness, and use the teams, and
Because
just
they
have a
have the
different.
license.
That's saying they just
So
use that, but they just use them in a different league, or use them in a different league. Like, say for instance, what if they used all teams, all players, all their likenesses, and use it as an XFL format type game? Not necessarily the XFL, but they use the XFL rules.
Well, let me ask y'all this: which would y'all prefer? Would you prefer a game that has slight tweaks where you can't have the Super Bowl, etc., but you still have the NFL players, you still have 11 on 11, but there are certain things that are different, and you have the NFL teams? Or would you rather, like you said, a generic league where you have all the players and it's fully customizable? And
I'm gonna tell you what,
I'd rather have all the players.
I would too.
I want this. I want the latter. I want the second one because you know why? If you have a franchise mode with that, you can do exactly what DJ did with 2K and actually come up with rules throughout the seasons. And I think that would be really interesting to do.
And I think you can still create the NFL in that situation, right? They just can't do it for us.
And you can't use the name or whatever. Like, say somebody did like mod, or they did, some tweaks to it. Like, say somebody makes a league and you can share it and download it, so you can use their interface with it. You can't call it the NFL or something. You just have their league.
But see, the thing with that is, and me and DJ talked about that before, because we've seen that situation pop up in other games where it was
backbreaker,
but more specifically WWE 2K. Now the interesting thing was, okay, remember Fight Night? There was a Floyd Mayweather. They didn't have the licensing to Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
I don't know if they can control what people can create.
If there's on their, if they're on their servers, they technically can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you see what they did when they tried to put.
But not if it's user generated though. I'm like,
well, they can technically. He is.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, yeah.
Because WWE 2K did it.
Yeah, you see what happened with Chris Benoit when they tried him. You know.
And CM Punk.
Yeah, but that was from within the company itself.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you go over their servers with something like that, they'll probably try to nix it.
But we was talking. But I think we would look at the way I'm looking at it is that another company is telling another studio what they can't do with and what they can't have on their servers. WWE is in partnership with 2K.
I kind of get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But once again though, even with Backbreaker almost got in trouble with that type of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know how, but they got in trouble.
Didn't Access Football reach that line where when they were previewing their game, they had NFL logos, they had all that stuff running rampant in their like gameplay videos, and it was like for a moment we thought the NFL was going to step in.
Okay. Right, I know they tried to smash Backbreaker, because I know LT and BB they could tell you about it, because they're the ones that was heavy in that realm.
And C-Mad went where I went before, and what I thought they should do. He said, I think everyone should prepare themselves. He said, I think everyone should prepare themselves for a fantasy mode similar to MUT. You won't have a game with active rosters that mimic each team. And look, that is where Pooh's idea of APF2 came in before, that I would love. Now, just imagine if they had an APF setup and you can pick certain stars, gold tier players, however they want to do it, put them on generic teams, or even put them on the NFL teams.
Gotcha.
And the thing that makes it not sim is, like he said, having the official rosters and things like that. If that's a loophole they can look into, EA's fucked.
Yeah.
Because you're still building your team, you're still playing within the confines of the NFL, but you're not using the official rosters.
You're not. You can if you're building them
If
yourself.
they can do that, well, technically you can, but I'm saying they're not providing that.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like you're not using NFL rosters if you're building them yourself. That's what I was saying. Like if you're building them APF style, they can't do nothing about that.
Yeah,
That
so
is
I
true.
think that would actually be really dope if you could just make your own teams and not really a mutt style because that's too much of like chants and things like that. I think APF is a much better style. Pick your players. If you want to make it gold tier, silver, whatever, that's fine. And then play it like that. Like I said, if 2K releases that and they have authentic NFL players,
They basically need to give us an enhanced APF with the franchise mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Even I mean,
Yes.
and then to be quite honest, if you give us the players and don't have any logos or anything like that, if you give us an APF with authentic players with the franchise, but I'll be okay with that.
And
but I mean, that just goes back to what we're saying.
customization.
Yeah, and that just goes back to what we're saying. Like, even if they do that, how could they? This is a big question because nobody's never had to answer this. Because I've been going on the route with just arcade, WW, E2K playgrounds type deal. Like, can they really tell them that they can't make a simulation game, or I ain't gonna say simulation, but a replication of the actual game of football? Like, does it have to be a arcade style NFL Blitz style? Now when you start thinking about it, it's like, how could they just like tell them they can't make a football game? I don't understand that.
The only thing I hope is that there isn't some type of prerequisite that when they sign on with the NFLPA that they have to be attached to the NFL license. That's the only thing I hope.
Well, I mean, they already got both, so it's probably.
I mean, they have both, but I'm saying if one has to be married to the other, then we can't have everything we're talking about.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So if you can't use the players without the teams,
but wait a minute, Bills. That just goes back to what we were saying. Is like, even if they have the NFL Shield, the teams and the logos, and they got the players, like, how could you still manage to say you cannot make a? Like, how can you say the gameplay cannot replicate the game of football?
Well,
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's the point that me and DJ were talking about. You can't police how somebody makes their game.
You're right, DJ. Like, you can't police the sport. Like, if you say, look, you cannot have like who's supposed to play. Let's say if the Kansas City Chiefs supposed to play like the Jets week 1, you can't replicate that in your franchise mode.
That's like the NFL telling the CFL, no, you can't have 12 on 12. It's got to be 11 on 11 to be legit.
Right,
like, what the hell?
And shout out to LT Magic. LT Magic series.
Hold on, man. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull him up quick because it didn't come yet. When it comes up, we'll get to his comment. But it's like I was saying, it's like say
touching on something else we said too.
Just like everybody's bye week is this and this. You can't replicate that. Okay, here it is right here, Bills. I'm gonna let you go ahead and say that.
Yeah, so shout out to LT Magic for coming through. He said the most interesting thing is what is simulation and what's not. How could something that's subjective like what simulation be dictated?
Right.
Exactly.
Saying. You can't how can you? I mean, okay, I'll give you an example. We always say you can play simulation even if the game technically doesn't play, in and of itself simulation, right? I mean, NBA Live 14, you can turn NBA Street Volume 2 on and play simulation if you really want to, if you really want to not play over the top. So to say that something can't be simulation, you can't just say that and expect people to know what you mean, especially when those people are developing a game. So I'm really what those qualifications are of sim.
I am still kind of wary of the 11 on 11 thing. Maybe they that's something they may not be able to get around. I mean, outside of that, it's like you can't tell me I can't put 5 linemen on the offensive line. You can't tell me I can't run, a double tight set, or I only can, you know what I'm saying? Or you can't tell me I can't run certain plays on the field. I think the 11 on 11 may be the only gray area that they may, can actually nix and say you can't do that. But as far as saying like you can't run a screen pass because they run. It's just stuff like that. I
See,
just don't understand that.
the question I have is that okay, you have the NFL license to run non quote unquote simulation games, football games, and it's just like so basically a game with no rules, like everyone's been saying, an arcade game. Other than
Right.
that, 2K has secured the NFL license
So
and the
Pretty much
NFLPA
at this point.
license,
and I
and
have
the
to go back
NFL license by itself includes the rules.
and I have to go back to this very timely quote that EA had in March, which was EA Sports is the exclusive publisher of NFL simulation games.
Stop right there.
There
Stop right
it
there.
is.
Stop right there. Right.
There
Say
it
that
is.
again.
EA Sports is the exclusive publisher of NFL simulation games.
Okay,
Basically
that right.
told on themselves.
That's saying that right there. Just say, look, you can create the game of football. You just can't create what is going on in the NFL realm.
Now
And
listen
that's
to
what.
this.
Okay, go
Listen
ahead.
to this, though. So, yeah, it says EA Sports is the exclusive publisher of NFL simulation games, and our partnership with the NFL and NFLPA remains unchanged. Now, this is back in March, mind you. Our agreements have always allowed for non-exclusive development of non-simulation games on various platforms. So once again, if I go down further, it says EA's 2004 announcement of the deal noted that it covered action simulation, arcade style, and manager games on PC, handheld game devices, and consoles. The agreements do not include exclusive rights to other types of games or games accessible from the internet or wireless devices, including cellular phones.
That first deal was egregious takeover.
Right.
Going back to listen to that and see what they can and can't do, that was an egregious
Yeah,
takeover.
from that deal, it definitely established the fact that they were policing the sport of football.
That right there, that was a good. I'm surprised. Like none of us. I mean, back then we were all young. We didn't understand.
Wait, so that hold on, real quick. They're asking the same question we are in this next paragraph. Regardless, it's an open question what kind of gameplay 2K will be allowed to fit into this apparent non-simulation exclusivity loophole. The Madden series has in recent years featured a simulation game style that it calls, quote, the authentic NFL experience, which plays true to player and team ratings and NFL rules. Okay, pause. Call me a conspiracy theorist. Do you think they put a simulation mode in their game
Just to say that's the definition.
pigeonhole?
Wow.
So let me keep going.
Yeah.
The Madden series, simulation game mode that it calls the authentic NFL experience, which plays true to player and team ratings and NFL rules. That's in contrast to Madden's faster pace arcade style, which features faster paced play and higher chances of spectacular catches, broken tackles, and ball carrier fakeouts, and lower chances for interceptions. That parsing of the simulation terminology could conceivably allow 2K to lean into more of an over-the-top NFL experience, blah, blah, blah. So basically, nobody knows.
Like what some people say in the other realm of debates, that just sounds like a bunch of word salad. It was just a lot of stuff right there.
But here's the thing. So if we look at just that what was said, you look at NFL simulation and the fact that the simulation mode within Madden is more ratings based, more realistic, then it's just like, okay, well, they have a number system.
Now listen to this though.
Not only that, I mean, what if 2K just undercuts and just say this is a competition, this is a comp mode game?
Yeah.
No, listen to this though. This is interesting. Mm-hmm. Excessive violence aside, the line between simulation and non-simulation is an incredibly fuzzy one in the worlds of sports video games. There are entire academic papers attempting to map out the spectrum between, quote, abstraction and transformation in virtual sports, but there's still no agreed upon point where a game tips over from simulation to non-simulation. Now, let me keep reading real quick. Features such as franchise management, offensive play design, and even modeling of the player's stats and health status could conceivably be considered part of a simulation take on American football, given the usual understanding of the subgenre. But anything that maps to the real sport of football could arguably fall under the simulation heading, depending on how expansive you want to get. So this goes back to what I said. EA can sit here and cherry pick their definition of simulation because there is no set definition. And that's what I'm worried about.
Let's look at some of the people in the chat. First of all, I'm gonna put this up here. What's up, fella? Oh yeah, GSU was in the house all day, every day. We're gonna talk with all day. Let's see. Where's Chris Thomas said, I'm smelling APF 2.0 because you have the NFLPA and make you have custom teams, add franchise mode. Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier. CMAD says we'd all have to see the language in the contract and in how simulation is defined. Once again, Mr. Ham says, wasn't APF considered non-simulation? I'm pretty sure it was, because I don't think it says it anywhere on the box, but I'm pretty sure if it was. Chris Thomas also said, what if 2K made their own American Football League with different rules? We talked about it earlier. I'm for that. Scott Smith is a new subscriber. He just subscribed to the channel. Appreciate that. He says, just going to be NBA playgrounds and WWE battlegrounds. That's what we thought from the beginning, but now with this,
we can't see. But that's
what I'm saying. Based on what we know now, it's hard to say that that's going to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
When I was saying about the loophole, LT just said it. He typed it. He said, so simulation game mode is all that makes it simulation. Can't 2K just have their own mode called arcade mode? I said comp. He said, but have it play more authentic. Well, that's true. I mean, just because it could be named something, that doesn't mean it actually, quote unquote, have to be that way.
And it says it will be interesting to see how this apparently contractually obligated distinction will manifest itself in 2K's take on the sport. So that means apparently whatever it is in the contract. That's going to be interesting.
LT said he has to go. We appreciate you coming through for a minute, man. You still owe us a seat. Your seat is still cold over here on this podcast. You need to come through.
Definitely got to come through the podcast, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
We've had Kia on here how many times? You ain't been on here once?
Right, exactly.
Pretty much.
But yeah, LT, he subscribes to the Google podcast, so he usually listens to us on the back end. Okay. That gives us another time to say, hey, look, if you want to listen to us again, you don't want to use all your unlimited data on the YouTube, you can download us on Google or iTunes, or I think SoundCloud has it as well. Let's get into this real quick. C-Mad said this earlier. I think 2K press release says it all. Authentic experiences. That's one thing that caught my eye when I read it as well. So with authentic experiences, is that just another word to say, like, look, we're going to make this as close as possible without, or it's just a play on words that we're still going to make a simulation game, but we're going to call it authentic experiences? DJ, what are your thoughts?
I feel like, they're gonna make. I feel like they're gonna make a simulation game and use that. Like, we've redefined football experiences as authentic experience.
It's not simulation. It's
it's just a play on words. That's all I'm saying. Like,
right.
It's not simulation. It's authentication.
Yeah, and I'm here. Yep. And I'm be honest, I'm here for it, because the first time we heard, like, what Scott Smith said, NBA play, and I get it, but now when we get all this extra information that we know now, it's like, okay, we're probably getting in territory where they're going to skate the rules. You're not going to have like a full-fledged NFL game, but you're going to have it as close to what, there's some tweaks to some rules or regulations. Like I said, I would not be surprised if you just get an XFL rules style game with the NFL players and teams. And I'm gonna be quite honest, between that or APF 2.0, I'm kind of leaning towards the XFL rules because I miss that sport. That sport was fun to watch.
I have another question for you guys. This might be reaching, but just bear with me for a second.
Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
What if, and just what if literally simulation is the default settings of your franchises and things like that can't be basically what the NFL is? So, for example, the default season can't be 16 games, but you can choose 16 games.
I mean, no. I get what you're saying, but I think if that thing could go to 14, 15, 17, and with the NFL is going to 17 games a season, it may go from 15 to 18. I don't think they want to. I'm not going to say they can't do it. I don't think they want to push the envelope that
Oh,
far.
I see what Bills is saying because Madden doesn't have a customizable season. You can't adjust it to
I
anything
see what you're
more
saying.
than 16 games.
Think about Super Mega. Super Mega has at default 3 innings, but you can play 9 innings.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you say.
They have the same amount of
the way
players
I'm looking at it,
like,
the way I'm looking at it is, I don't want to give EA even the NFL, because you got to think about the NFL may go crazy too. You don't want to give them any inch or any crack at the
Not
window.
the NFL that's gonna go crazy though. It's just EA.
No, but you see what I'm saying?
NFL
I don't want to give them.
NFL is looking at this like good.
No, but I'm saying I
They're
don't want to.
fighting
I don't
one
want to give
another
them.
again.
I don't
That's
want to
what they're
give.
doing.
I don't want to give EA any crack at the door, thinking they can bust the door down, saying, "Hey, we got players making 16-game seasons," and then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying?
They can't do nothing.
They technically
They can't do anything.
No, they can't.
That.
I'm with you. I don't think they can, but I don't think you
I
want to
wouldn't
give
even-
them. You don't
no.
want to give them the satisfaction.
I wouldn't even be worried or satisfaction or whatever, because they still, at the end of the day, the satisfaction comes in the consumers because EA can't do shit about it.
Well,
It's
stop. I'm gonna give you.
customizable.
Hold on. I'm gonna give you an example. This is the same thing that happened with the NCAA license. Now, be very careful. Now, you can customize that. You can customize that.
That was
Include
player
it's not.
names.
It's not. It's the same premise. You got to think about this now. It was customizable. What did the Ed O'Bannon lawsuit end? It wasn't Ed O'Bannon itself. It was the fact that they found out that Tim Tebow's name was in the game as well as his name on playbooks.
Wait a minute, hold on. But that's not the whole thing. Remember, it was also the fact that it was the players' likenesses, like what hometown they were from, and
this is what I'm saying. You don't want to give them that inch.
But this would be a
that.
different situation because 2K has secured the NFLPA license, so they can do that. They can list hometowns. They can list their names.
Yeah, I get that, but you don't want to give them something like, "Hey, they're trying to replicate our league," and putting 16 games in there is replicating their league. You don't want to give them that inch.
Well, next year they're going to be 17 games, so then what?
Well, that too. Yeah,
okay. I'm saying, if they're going to change next season, then it's like, what the heck?
DJ, you bring up a great point. The NFL season next year is going to be 17 games. Just make franchise with 16 games.
See, that's what I'm saying. Now, I get it at that point, but you don't want to give them anything to fuss about by, like you said, Bills or DJ. You don't want to give them a 17 games.
Well, VF, remember this though, it's contractual. So technically, whatever they do that's an ironclad contract. It's not like EA can come back after. They can come back after and complain about what they negotiated, but they negotiated that.
No, I know. I'm 100. No, don't get me wrong. I'm 100%. I don't want you to think I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm 100%. I'm just trying my best not to give them any leeway to say, "Hey, we're going to take you to court for trying to replicate our league, not the sport." Or you see what I'm saying? It's like when you said they could change the numbers of the games per season. Yeah, but soon as you find like some guy on YouTube or Twitch playing a 16-game online league, EA is going to they're going to pounce, because it's bad enough already. It's not exclusive anymore, so they don't want anything to compromise whatever the little bit of exclusivity they have.
King David said, instead of 4 quarters is just classified as 2, it could go up to 30 minutes. Shit, instead of instead of quarters, call them periods.
No, or call them, or be like college football. College basketball. Call them halves.
Bro, you know what I feel like is gonna happen?
That would be a long. Could you imagine?
I feel like 2K is gonna troll the fuck out of EA.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, Bills, think about it. They did that with APF. Think about it. When APF came out, what Dan Stevens? This is not the no fun league, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they came out. You better believe it. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I like Danny and stuff, and Danny got old boy for Axis. I think I wouldn't be surprised if 2K brought him back. The announcer. I wouldn't be surprised.
2K should go and get. I don't know.
You better not say Phil Sims. you say that.
No. I think they should go and get maybe
in-house. They got Kevin Harlan.
I just
Yeah.
hope they don't. I hope 2K doesn't like play it safe and put out like an arcade game. Like, no, like put the nail in the coffin, bro. Like, you got to come out hard body. You pay for this license, and you're saying authentic being the key word. You literally place that in your statement about this on the day of the press release or on the day that it was announced. You have to come hard with as close to simulation as possible without being simulation
We're
under those parameters. You use the word authentic, and arcade isn't authentic.
right. Yeah, exactly. So that to me, that's another reason why I say that's out the window. Where Flex X a question, and I think this is true.
Weird
He said,
flex, but okay.
"Yeah, he
That
said,
is
weird flex." He said, "But okay." He said, "Was a head coach '09 considered simulation?"
No, because
I
you
don't
couldn't
think it
play.
was.
Because you couldn't
wait,
play.
no. It
I,
was considered simulation.
yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not. I don't think.
Just
I don't
because
remember
you
hearing.
have like out of the what is it out of the park baseball OOTPP or whatever it was.
Right.
That's considered simulation. It's just text simulation. It literally is simulation to the core.
Got you. Okay.
As far so yeah, I'm like you want to talk about real simulation? It's those type of games without any of us involved directly. It's more or less we make a decision and we see how the
Well,
results
you know
play
what?
out by itself.
That is true because if you're controlling the player and you decide to hike the ball and run in circles,
That's
Now, here's another
you.
question.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Right?
Another
hmm
question I have. So, where do the coaches stand? Are they part of the NFL PA
No,
or?
they
No,
had
they're
their
not.
own
They
association.
got their own associate. That's
Because
why Bill
remember,
Belichick.
Belichick wasn't in
Yeah,
the game.
Belichick wasn't in the game for a long time.
He fuck him. Anyway,
Oh.
no, but so that would be interesting too to see how they're. Well, if they, a
They'll
good
just do like the NHL does. Like the
a good
NHL doesn't have the
indication.
coaches in the game.
Yeah, I was
A,
about to say what I mean.
a
Does that
indication.
is that another avenue to say that we can still put out a simulation game because Madden had the coaches on the side of the field on the sideline. 2K may not even have it. Does that negate the non-simulation or simulation thing?
Hmm.
I mean, it makes you think.
I think they're gonna do it with playbooks and other shit that might piss people off.
Oh, I ain't worried about that. It's easy to come up with playbooks.
I think the United States should strike down this exclusive deal
They
because
should have done that a long time
I feel like
ago.
it's
Yeah, I mean
illegal
that's
at
what I'm
this
saying.
point.
Gotta
You can't police the sport. I'm
I'm
sorry.
saying you got to understand this license been locked up for almost 20 years. I
Right.
don't care how much you like EA. You can love EA Madden football. If you might think that's the best game that ever was put out on a console or a PC, but 20 years, almost going on 18, 19, 20 years with the exclusive
Unopposed.
license, that unopposed, that's ridiculous. Even if you love the game, you got to admit, like, okay, that is a little bit excessive. I
Mhm.
mean,
And here's the other thing that worries me. Okay, so they've said that people have been able to put out an NFL game that was non-simulation for the longest. My question is that not telling of what the parameters of simulation are based on the fact that nobody's made a game this whole time?
I'm gonna tell you something. I got a question. I mean, I got a conspiracy theory about that. I think 2K been wanting to do this for a long time. That's why you kept hearing the rumblings of them wanting to make a game. I think they probably missed the boat after APF because I think they probably wanted to do one for this generation, the PS4 and Xbox One, but they missed the boat on actually developing a game for those consoles. So they waited until the next generation's coming up now because it just seems like it all falls into place. Like we're starting to make a game. It's this, and this. We getting this license now. We secured this license, and we're coming out with a game in 2022. It gives them basically a 18 to 24-month window to where the game is going to be exclusively for the next consoles. Where this, like the beforehand, they probably just missed the boat. That also tells you that they're making a game strictly. They're probably making these games strictly from the ground up, arcade or not.
King David Crates said, that's almost what I want to see. 2K just go flat out sim and say it's authentic. See what EA does. I want them to.
It's a play on words. So I don't think.
want them
Honestly,
to say replication because that's another thing that people have been throwing out for a long time.
yeah,
Is simulation versus replication. Use
yeah,
replication.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. And I think it's just a play on words that even if you try to go the litigation route, I think that's something that's it's just going to be too frivolous and it won't carry any weight.
They are both big enough to take this situation to court.
I don't want that to happen. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's a possibility that a judge can make an injunction and no games will come out. You kind of see what I'm saying? If a judge make an injunction on something like this, neither side can make a game until they litigate it out in court.
No, I mean, but see, here's the thing, man. So much of this is interesting from the perspective of when everybody was talking about, well, the NFL's not even going to consider leaving EA with all that money. And then
they almost did.
People had the nerve, but
a lot of people don't realize. But prior to EA getting this license, they almost left.
That's what I'm saying. Is they had the nerve to tell me, no, well, the NFL's not even going to consider it. And then the article comes out, it's like, no, they absolutely did consider it.
Yeah, they said they actually will start either leaving for 2 other companies or just opening it up to everybody.
Yeah, and they ended up not doing it. But now you have this come out. It's clear that they're, at the very least,
I think the NFL is getting to the point where they do want to open the license, but they want to carry it. They want to have as much guaranteed money as possible.
I think regardless of what people try to tell me about these owners don't give a fuck about video games. And the NFLPA are the players that play this shit, and they said, no, fuck that. We're signing with 2K. We're tired of, this lackluster game. Even if we have to take power into our own hands.
Well, you're talking about the Player Association, right?
NFLPA.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is exactly how 2K got the PA license, because I mean it was always put out there that the Players Association wanted more. They wanted to maximize their own likeness and their own entity. Yeah, their own profitability. So they always wanted to be in multiple games. It was just the NFL wasn't letting them. Well, NFL and EA, their partnership wouldn't allow it.
There was a kicker way back that literally said, "I get paid more if I'm in multiple games."
Yep. It was the Giants kicker, the one that found out he beat his wife a couple years later. It was him. Yeah, it was him. I can't remember his name. Like David Brown or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was David Brown.
Josh Brown.
It was Josh Brown. He the one that said it. He's like, yeah, I know.
It probably would have helped with his bail.
He was like, yeah, I know with the players being in extra multiple games, they will make more money themselves. So it was like, I think the EA just actually had a deal with the NFL that it was all inclusive or something like that. But the players always want to be in multiple games, always. Let me see.
Here's another question.
Oh, go ahead. King Dave said at the end of the day, if the deal goes through them, if EA complains, they have to go through the NFL. Yes and no, because EA could probably just go straight to the courts and not the NFL. Mm-hmm. It's possible they could, but I'm not sure because the NFL has a separate contract with them.
Once again, this is contractual between 2K and the NFL, and
right.
This is contractual between 2K and the NFLPA. So EA doesn't have any right to complain because as long as 2K stays within their parameters, legal obligations, which hell, EA might not even know what they are.
I'm pretty sure they don't.
So basically, what you're saying is that 2K can enact the Hollywood rule.
Speaking of Hollywood,
that's actually perfect because when Hollywood's like, you don't have the right to question. That's literally what this would be.
Exactly.
Like, hey, this is between us and the NFL. You can shut the fuck up over there.
Right.
That's basically what that would be. But then, I mean, that's interesting.
Scott Smith said, I remember the civil suit about the Mad Monopoly. I remember getting a letter about being a part of a suit years ago. Wasn't that? Yeah, because a lot of players. Yeah, because a lot of players got like money back from some type of suit. That was like. Because it was from the 2004 license or something like that. And what happened was a lot of players, it was like some type of class action suit or something like that happened to where everybody got like $4 back or something. I can't remember what it was. What's wrong with my baby? He's sleeping. All right, we're back. Y'all there?
Yeah,
I'm here.
Okay. He getting sleepy.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I know.
I went back to something in 2012.
That's what it was. Something about that players got money back from the license being excluded. It was some type of monopoly
Madden
too.
class action suit
That's what it is. How
settlement
much?
triples its payout to gamers. This article by Owen Good was on 2013. It
That's it.
basically,
All right, here we go.
EA negotiated a 27 million dollar pool to distribute to thousands of customers who bought Madden and NCAA football, and the 14 or so people who actually bought Arena football. EA admitted to no wrongdoing in the settlement, and its exclusive deal with the NFL still survives.
So listen to this.
Yeah, because I think it was some type of suit that they were trying to break
It was-
up the monopoly.
So it
So what
says the class action lawsuit filed back in 2008 claimed that EA's exclusivity deals, making it the sole game maker with access to NFL, NFL Players Association, the college, National College Athletic Association, and Arena Football League, shut down all competition, creating a detrimental environment for consumers.
Well, it did.
Two private consumers in California and Washington, D.C. filed a suit claiming that EA was engaging in, quote, blatantly anti-competitive conduct. Now, look, let's pause right there. We already know that.
Yeah, exactly.
and their actions over the course of this past decade have illustrated that. It goes on to say the vigorous competition benefited consumers. EA could have continued to compete by offering a lower price and or higher quality product. Instead, EA
say that again.
EA could have continued to compete by offering a lower price and or higher quality product.
In other words, the suit says you could have put your game down to $19.99 as well, or just make a better game.
Instead, EA quickly entered into a series of exclusive agreements with the only viable sports football associations in the United States. There's a lot of other stuff. It's troubling that EA simply settled the lawsuit while retaining its right to pursue exclusive rights to the NFL license. Despite the upturn in Madden NFL quality in recent years, it's still a series that would benefit from healthy competition. Man, oh man, bro. I mean,
that's one thing that I'm surprised that we never touched on, because I remember that is from. That's from the 2004 suit, because I think that first deal was like 6 or 8 years, and you said that was 2008, right?
Yeah.
So that's about right, and they finally settled it in 2012, 2013.
Because here's the ranging years that they said. It says if between January 1st, 2005 and June 21st, 2012, you buy a new copy of Madden, NFL, NCAA, or Arena Football for the 360, PS3, or God help you, the Wii, it's basically the suit would,
God help you, the Wii.
would turn out to be $5.85 per game, capped at $8.
See, that's what I was saying. I remember I said they got like $4 a game or something like that. I remember that, yeah. So I mean, with that being said, it's like now, like I said, I think 2K basically laid in wait. They was gonna wait, like, look, 2K or Madden's probably gonna get the license, or if we get it, we're gonna keep it moving. When they found out Madden ended up winning the bid to get it, they probably just already had it in place. Say, look, we want this, and this. We'll make a non-simulation game. We just want what we can get. Then turn back around. They went with, what's this company? Turning Point. What's the name of it? One Team.
Yeah.
One Team. They got the deal with the help of One Team to get the players. So
there's your producer right there.
Right. So it says the deal was handled by One Team, a company launched in association with the NFLPA, the MLBPA. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
They got associated with MLB as well. So I doubt a 2K could make a baseball game, but that's something to look into.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you one thing. This will be the last thing I say on this. If 2K hires Rex Dixon, then you know what time it is.
Man, we need to get Rex up in here, man.
If they get Rex in 2K, I'm like, they did wonders for OG and Mike Wang and Nazar. I'm like, shoot, put Rex Dixon with a company that wants to give them creator freedom.
Listen,
wait
a minute. Oh, before you go, Bills, if they, to be honest, I mean, I was, just being kind of funny, but if that really happens, Madden is in serious trouble. Authentic replication, simulation, or not, Madden will be in trouble.
That is exactly what Rex wanted in Madden. If 2K is willing to give it to you,
they will.
On the squad.
Wow.
Now, what you were saying, Bills?
So I'm reading this about this $27 million lawsuit or
Hmm.
settlement, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
This last sentence is kind of wild. If I'm reading it correctly, it says, um, EA can continue to make NCAA football games after 2014 on a non-exclusive basis. So that means technically we could have been having NCAA games, but these motherfuckers took their foot out of it, and then everybody else was like, "Fuck it," because you went and took all of our traction away with the
Yeah.
NFL exclusive deal.
Yeah,
Man, fuck EA, man.
NCAA football games was they were non-exclusive after NCAA 13.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that. The problem is nobody had a foundation to make a game. Like you even look at NCAA 2K3. I mean that game it wasn't good, and you're not going to go back and use that. They could have used APF engine, but they just never got around to it. So yeah, that a lot of people don't know that NCAA football games were non-exclusive. Pretty much any NCAA game was non-exclusive for a while. It just football was the last one that was actually, exclusive up until then. NCAA football 14, that game is not an exclusive license game. A lot of people don't know that. It's just, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, yeah. NCAA football 14 is not an exclusive license game. So it was it was well known. Everybody else just stopped making basketball games and stuff and baseball games. They just stopped making them. It wasn't like locked out or anything.
Hmm.
They never was. It just they felt like they weren't lucrative enough. I might have said that wrong. No, I think 2K. No,
Lucrative.
I take that back. I take that back. NCAA football 14 was the last exclusive game. If NCAA football 15 came out, that game would have been the one that's non-exclusive.
Oh
I'll take that back.
wow! So I'm also reading an article from back in 2013, which is pretty interesting because they're talking about how the players' union, um, their license was separate.
Yeah, their license.
And they're given the same number back then of 2,000 real world players.
Yeah,
It
their numbers was
says
always
players'
separate. I
union
mean,
doesn't
Yep.
seem inclined.
go back and look at Madden 64.
Yeah, but it
No, sorry,
says
go back and look at
players'
Madden
union doesn't
64.
see. No, I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying. So it says the players' union doesn't seem inclined to license any other publisher anytime soon. What's interesting about this is it says we have an agreement with EA and Madden. I've heard some opinions like yours, but honestly, EA is one of our best partners. I know they hear some of your input as well and work to improve the game every year. So what has changed? Because a fan said that to somebody. Said another fan said, "I will not purchase another EA NFL licensed title until consumers are able to have a choice again." Um, and then apparently this dude that's a representative of the NFLPA said, "I'm sorry to hear that. One thing to clarify, my job. One thing to clarify, though, my job and the job of the NFLPA is to ensure the players' interests are a top priority. I know that might not be the best or most popular answer, but it's our mission. So once again, what has changed? That now all of
Um,
a sudden they feel like
well, let's think about this. What's been going on in the NFL as far as the collective bargaining agreement? They've been dealing with that for the past 4 or 5 years. You don't think that could have something to do with it?
Yeah, I think right now the current CBA still is not in favor of the players. So yeah, the
Right.
players are itching to have something break their way.
That's what I'm saying. So
oh wow,
that could have
hold
changed because you got
on.
to think about it. Back then, even though it was not, I mean, the players association they were separate. They didn't have these gripes that they had since like 2017, 2018. So it's like a totally different
There's another thing
situation.
here that's interesting though. It says retired players in a lawsuit accused the union of giving EA Sports a sweetheart deal back in '04 instead of taking an offer worth more money from 2K Sports. Wow.
I need some more information on that one because I would love to read that. I mean, that one sentence is big, but I want to know more about that because that will be interesting to hear about.
NFLPA is more concerned that Madden follows the group licensing agreement, uses player likenesses appropriately, and doesn't bounce its check. NFLPA is interested not in video game development. NFL's the licensor to answer for product quality.
That's 2004.
That's interesting.
Was it that's a statement from
No,
2004?
this is an article from
No,
2013.
I'm just saying, was that
Oh, the
saying
statement
was from?
about the
Yeah,
about yeah that happened back in 2004.
see, that's what I'm saying. That makes sense because back then, like I said, the Players Association had no interest at the time.
Well, actually, no, that statement was about 2013, but I'm saying the lawsuit was a 2004 thing.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Anything that goes with that law, that 27 mil, is based on that situation. So the Players Association wasn't really into it until they are now, because like you said, like me and DJ was saying, like there's more gripes with their pay or their cut of the pie now. So this is where you see where the license they wanted to be on extra games.
This confirms other suspicions. NFLPA's interest is not in video game development, that's for sure. The NFL is the licensor to answer for product quality as it reviews and approves the game's feature set and new inclusions.
Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, what are we looking at? Do y'all really think we're going to get a really decent football game? We're not going to get like a street or a blitz or anything like that, or like what was that game that came out of 2010, Madden Arcade? Like what do you think we're getting?
I think we're gonna get something I think I've said this before, but I think we probably all would be in agreement. We're gonna get something like WWE Battlegrounds to start, and then go from there.
Well, they're making multiple games, so I wouldn't be surprised they make that or something else. What about you, Bills?
I think they'll try their hand at something that is fairly arcade, and they're gonna try their best in their other title to give us something that is as close to simulation as it possibly can come. Find a loophole somehow, because they have to. They have to. If the NFL is going to not renew that with EA, they have to on these new consoles prove that they can actually make something that looks authentic with the best graphics for the real life players. If they don't present any work of that, then the NFL has no way of knowing that they'll be able to come through. So they have to put something out there for us to go by.
I'm leaning on this. Authentic experiences. Something I'm leaning on those two words. So
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a battlegrounds or a playgrounds type game. I think they're going to give us something along this as well. I would not be surprised to be more than one game out.
I think there will be.
I wouldn't be surprised to be more than one game. I don't think that playgrounds game is going to be the only thing that we see from 2K on a yearly basis. You know what I mean? And I mean, if they do a playgrounds type game and it's authentic, it just looks a little cartoony, I'll rock with it for a minute. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Man, Smitty's supposed to be doing a live podcast right now. Type in "What's good, fellas."
What you at?
Smitty in the chat.
Sleeping on the job. What's going on, Smitty? What's going on, man?
Double duty. Oh, guess what? G-Rob
ain't been here in a while, man.
I know, right?
G-Rob, you just got here. If you missed it, I'll just let you know that 2K actually secured the NFLPA license along with the logos and teams that they got back in March. So it's pretty much a big deal of what they have obtained. We're just going through the motions based on the information we know and what was said in the article as far as what game we may think come out. Bills and DJ said the playgrounds game. I agree, but I think it's going to be one other game behind that. I don't know if they'll come out simultaneously or close, but I don't think we're just getting a playgrounds game. Not after what we hear about authentic experiences. I think we're going to get something a little bit more than what we see.
All right,
what we heard.
G-Rob, click the link.
Ready for me to turn up too. So.
Yeah, I told him earlier. I was like, give him a minute.
Yeah, we got another topic we want to hit in a second. I'm gonna hit these the chat real quick and see what's going on. Okay, we see that one.
Let's start paying more attention to our sponsors in the chat here.
I know, right? Poster King says, I think we be better. He think the game would be better than Madden because it's built for next gen. Well, Madden is coming out with a game built for next gen, but
yeah, but we don't know what it looks like.
Apparently. We got real gameplay apparently in that trailer.
In engine footage.
Oh,
on.
semantics.
King David asks,
it's like authentic versus
Right.
King David asks, what if the NFL license only for an arcade game, but the NFLPA has no such restriction? So
Well,
that's a good question. With that being said, the NFL license game will probably be like a playgrounds game, and the NFLPA game would be like Madden 64.
they probably give like the NFL license and do like a Animal Planet type
But wait a
game, and then
minute.
NFLPA would be like the playgrounds game.
Hold on, wait a minute. That's a good question. There's something that we haven't even talked about. Go back and look at King David's actual, his chat right here. What if the NFL license game is actually a playgrounds game? Because in other words, the NFLPA license says nothing about non-simulation. Nothing.
Well, because you can't non-simulate Drew Brees. There's no way around it.
But this is what I'm saying. What if the teams and logos have like the non-simulation side, but you got the players that don't?
What we were talking about earlier.
No, but we were talking about that collectively in one game. What if there's, like we said, it'd be two separate games? That's what I'm saying. What if it'd be two separate games that'd be
2K doing too much.
I don't think so, because I just said I think there's going to be a playgrounds game, and then there's going to be hold on one second, Bill. Before I get there, this is exactly what CMAD was saying about authentic experiences. They said that with the NFLPA article, but they did not say that when they got the NFL teams and logos.
So this is what I'm gonna say, bro, because I know where you're going with this. I think that NFL game is gonna be a mobile game.
Oh, come on, man. Why you gotta bring Damon Grow? Why you gotta bring Damon Grow up in this, man?
Look.
Why you have to bring Damon Grow into this?
They're gonna hire Damon Grow.
Why Damon Grow have to get? Why you have to get?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Why have to get drunk off the Henny?
You really had to bring Damon Grow into this. But go ahead and finish.
And he was saying Henny time.
So everybody's gonna be crazy disappointed when there's an NFL game, and then all of a sudden they're gonna come out with some crazy ass simulation game with all these NFL players, and they're gonna have uniforms that look very similar to the ones that they play in, but they're not gonna be called the Atlanta Falcons or the Green Bay Packers or et cetera, et cetera.
What they be called the Decatur Firebirds
or the Atlanta Flounders.
Instead of the New England Patriots, they'll be called like
the New England Patsies.
Boston.
Well, but like I said, in Madden 64, they'll call Foxborough. So, but this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm starting to think of. I think King David just got on something that we totally missed this whole hour and 15 minutes we was here. Because the first article when they got the actual NFL license, they talking about non-simulation, they're talking about all this other stuff, but with the NFLPA article, they're talking about authentic experience. So now, like I said, you may get a playgrounds game with the license, but you may get like a Madden 64 or like an APF style game with the authentic experience. I would not be surprised.
They probably were like, look, we'll get this NFL license
eventually,
just to get people talking about us,
right?
Again. And then we're gonna make a mobile game because everybody knows we can't make a simulation game in that.
Pete about to get muted, bro.
Oh, what did it say? That IMV game was gonna be.
Pete about to get muted.
But no, I mean,
well, shoot, their bank account is on fire right now.
Exactly, King David. Exactly. It sounds like two different games based on both of the articles, and I'm surprised nobody said
gonna have a team.
about it.
They're gonna have a team in that second game called the Tampa Bay Bandits.
Bro,
yeah, that's the thing. You wouldn't be surprised. Like, no, dead serious. Like, I would not be surprised.
That shit,
Tom Brady. If they didn't have the NFL,
bro.
It's something. No, I'm saying it's something to think about now. Just keep that in the back. Shout out to King David. That's a great point. I did not think about that. It's something to think about.
Because here's the thing. We've talked about this before. the NFL as a shield is losing its muster.
I disagree, King, Poster King. Not if one of the games be an arcade game. I disagree.
Especially if we release them at different times of the year.
Yeah, I disagree.
Here's the thing, like I said, the NFL as a shield, as a league, is kind of losing its muster. But if you have a trailer with a Pat Mahomes in a simulation game and he's not wearing a Chiefs uniform, are people really going to give a fuck?
No. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, this is before your times, Bills, but DJ can attest to this. When primetime football came out on Sega Genesis, nobody really gave a damn about if the authentic teams was there. They played
it was like Deion Sanders got a game. Damn, let's go.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to play it. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
John Montana got a game. John Elway got a game.
And don't let them add legends in with these NFL.
Well, wait a minute. You can make the case.
Yeah, damn.
But no, I'm just saying you can make the case that a player actually marketing a game with their name on the cover, could be more lucrative than actually
Mahomes football. Lamar Jackson. Oh God, don't have it be Lamar Jackson in literal response to that. Man, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you can say you did a Pat Mahomes football 2023. You can make the case that game could be more catchy and lucrative than Madden.
2K is on the phone right now. Like, I saw how they did you, Pat, bro. Number 4, really?
Right.
We got you.
Spec Pooh made a great point. Right. Kobe Bryant had a game. He had a game back in the day.
Well, shoot, Magic Johnson had a game. Anybody in the chat was old enough. Magic Johnson, fast break basketball.
What about Running Gun 96? You remember Running Gun 96?
Which one?
Running Gun 96 with Kareem and Magic.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
That game was way ahead of its time with the graphics too. I'm pretty sure OG. I'm not OG, but OG might remember. But G-Rob, I know he remembers that game as well.
Let me ask if OG is still there. Did you ever play a game called Double Dribble?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he did.
Because my thing is, if they can come up with somebody with name identity, and I know the Players Association will probably want it to be a current player. I would go Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning football, 2K11, 2K21, I should say.
Yeah. Peyton
Manning on the cover. NFL players in the game. Peyton Manning has zero allegiance to the NFL at this point because he's not playing. Make Peyton Manning playable in the game with legends. Have an APF setup, or you can do, franchise in any form or fashion, and I guarantee you that game will be successful.
Yeah,
and market it correctly this time.
Because 2K is taking a huge step in that department. I'll give him great credit. As long as Ronnie 2K has nothing to do with it. Sorry.
Chris Thomas. Sorry, OG. Chris Thomas says, so since 2K made this announcement, you think EA is going to show next gen Madden 21 franchise mode with the deep dive?
No, they're not.
No. Wait a minute, hold up. Franchise deep dive? That's an oxymoron if I've ever heard of it.
I will say this. I think if this announcement, and if they're making anything close to what we said or what King David said with the NFLPA license, I think Madden 22 will have much more information come out than this game, because that'll be the time where people are going to start picking up on the game and getting some steam about the other game. I think it'll force Madden to give out as much information as possible.
I need to get Peyton Manning football 2K21 trending. Peyton Manning football or somebody. I mean, shit.
Peyton Manning Omaha football.
Have Joe Montana try it with an actual company. Wait a minute.
Just call it Omaha Football 2K21 with Peyton Manning on there.
Where's Omaha?
Well, if we got Peyton Manning behind it, then.
Yeah.
Listen, if you put Joe Montana out there, Joe Montana will be the first to say, listen, I don't know what happened at the other game.
I want my money up front.
Yeah, exactly.
No more Hennessy.
Let's jump to the next topic. But before we do, I think what King Davis
Michael
did.
Sam football. I'm
No,
done.
no, no.
Man,
Let's
man
go to
to
the
man 2K21.
Oh, no.
let's go to the next topic. Bill, go ahead, man.
Gang tackling.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this SGO situation. I'm not getting into. We talked about that off air last. I'm not doing it. I'm good.
All right, so
DB and AB, DB and AB.
Whoa. Okay.
or according to Smitty, DP and AB. All right,
SGO. Did they come out with a video yet? Let me find out. Go ahead, keep talking. I'll find out. Go ahead.
Yeah, please find out.
So yeah, about that. OG, you can come back now because somebody's about to get pan fried. We've had this guy several times get roasted on the show, and Clint Oldenburg, come on down. You put your foot in your damn mouth again. So SGO, for those of you who don't know,
The video's not out yet.
Sports Gamers Online. They call themselves the number one source for the sports gamer. They are a pretty good source. They went and put out a tweet today, just a little joke about the Fixed Madden franchise situation. It said EA throwing together that Fixed Madden franchise patch at the last minute, and they show basically a Lamborghini, except it's made of like paper and cardboard. Right, so they're making a joke like EA is gonna give us some like patchwork that's gonna look okay from the outside.
Yo, I showed my son that thing because he wanted to play on this bike, and I showed him the picture. He was looking at it, he's like,
See, even KB3 knows it's gonna be some bullshit. So somebody, of course, because Clint only responds to either overly negative or overly positive comments about EA. Somebody asked Clint, I wonder if Sean Grady and Clint are going to ignore this kind of stuff. This was what the lead gameplay designer said.
and you quote.
And I quote, "Not at all. Love to see gaming, quote unquote, news outfits are truly objective and which are more interested in getting likes or cute memes. When they ask for interviews and other info, it's really helpful to understand their current position. Very useful." Okay, Clint. Let's go over this for a second. IGN, you had some people review the game and they said that the running was too fucking realistic in the hands-on review of your first next-gen game. We haven't seen IGN review your game again as far as having you guys there and hands-on impressions after it came out and live gameplay. I wonder why. I wonder why that realistic running was taken out. That's interesting. Yeah. Me and DJ have asked you for the past 3 years to explain some of your sliders, but you couldn't respond to that. But when I tell
we made a whole episode about that.
We made a whole episode about it. We've asked you to explain ratings, and you were nowhere to be found. But you always seem to tiptoe towards the negativity. Look, if you protected your fucking quarterback in the NFL as well as you protect the shield of EA, you might not be a game developer right now. But because of the fact that you didn't and you were sorry as fuck at your job, now you've gone somewhere else to be sorry as fuck at your job. And you're mad at us because we're calling you out for being what? Sorry as fuck at your job. So you know what, Clint Oldenburg? You sit up here on this pedestal because Rex gifted you this position as lead gameplay designer because all you could do was sit back and develop the offensive line play that still had shifting all the way from Madden 25 and on. But I'm not going to go into that. Why don't we talk about when me and DJ had you basically join NWO because
wait a minute. I was a part of that. Don't do that.
In VF2, it was kind of me and DJ thing. And, you joined and said, yeah, you guys are great. And why were we great, Clint? Oh, that's right. We were great because we were telling people to have fun with the game and not hate on it. But then when somebody comes and criticizes you, then that's not the case.
But see, this is the problem. This one thing I like about what we do. We criticize in an honest fashion. We don't bash. We've gotten away from that. That's one of the reasons why we don't do breakdowns anymore. When we give you honest criticism, just like we said, we made a whole video. Oh, Charter 04 is not here. CMAD's here. But even, we made a whole video about, hey, let us know what's going on. I actually sent the live stream to him so he can, say he never, that's one reason why I'm like, I don't really care if he shows up or not, because we're trying to give feedback and they know who we are. Like you said, the whole situation with Madden 15, he followed me. I don't know if he followed DJ and Bills.
I don't think any of them followed me. I think only a few select devs. I mean, select.
He followed me briefly, and then
that's what I'm saying. It's like after a while, it was like, yo, that was a wrap. You know what I mean? It's like we're trying to help, and it's like
because I had one question towards any inclusion about doing something about the weather affecting the games, like in Madden, and seeing if they were thinking about even going with a different system, maybe dynamic weather down the road. Oh no, we're doing our own thing. That was like the only response I got to him, but it wasn't really, it was kind of like standoffish, like, oh, we're doing our own thing.
The past 2 days, I have asked him if he can, if they're going to make the X Factor and Superstar abilities adjustable in the game, and got no response. But he can sure find the negativity from a guy that has like 2 followers on here. He didn't, and here's the thing, bro. Here's what makes it even more sickening is, yes, SGO was included in that tweet, but you didn't respond straight to SGO. You want to respond to the
guy who was behind him,
the internet stooge, hoping that SGO doesn't pay attention to it. Bro, like, this is the issue with y'all, bro. This is the issue with that company in general, is you put your employees out on social media with this corporate speak bullshit. And I'm going to read my response to his tweet because I think it's very apropos at this point in the situation with franchise mode. Okay? And this is coming from a person that's watched SGO, and I told DJ this offline. This is coming from a person that saw SGO last year or even earlier this year cover Madden when it was a dead fucking game, when nobody in the sim community was talking about Madden 20. Nobody was checking for that piece of shit. Not one person. And SGO was still putting out videos about y'all's title updates. So this is what I had to say about this corny ass dude. SGO has been nothing but fair to y'all. Meanwhile, you have liars in your office hiding behind corporate speak of, quote, prioritizing a mode that you now have to patch elements into post-launch, a year removed from claiming it would get an overhaul. So yeah, Andrew Wilson, you can step forward too, because you said to Game Informer last year that yes, franchise was a, quote, priority. But this
and I tried my best to play that game.
And what do we get? What do we get this year? We got patch notes. And like I told DJ, if before all this vitriol came at y'all, if y'all actually planned on doing anything about franchise mode, you know what you would have put? You would have put the same shit you put in the deep dive for the beta response and the beta feedback. And the beta feedback, what they say about cover 2 and cover 3? Oh, it'll be updated down the road, right? Did they say that shit in the franchise blog? Anybody, find it right now.
Wait a minute, franchise was patch notes basically.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the dude, and it's like maybe
exactly, Pete. I'm gonna put this on the screen. Exactly. You got less than patch notes.
Yep. Got less than that.
So
we seen tuna updates that got more information.
So when you see your company legitimately fucking up and your response is that now you'll be more aware of the people who are quote unquote objective, remember that SGO has been objective about your lackluster fucking game for the better part of this entire console generation. And now people are fed up about it. And once again, there's proof in the pudding. Y'all weren't gonna do anything about franchise mode until what happened?
Until Wendy said something.
Until Wendy's was bashing your game, and that was the point where the shareholders and all the higher ups said, "Oh my God, this is getting mainstream appeal that we have a garbage franchise mode." This isn't news to us. This isn't news to Simheads that your franchise mode is garbage.
Man,
your franchise mode was second only to Live as the most bare bones flared franchise mode in the industry.
And you don't want to know something? And OG worked on Live for a second. I understand why Live was Live. And to be honest, prior to us doing this this topic, I was going to actually talk about the evolution of Live this particular generation. Maybe one day we'll revisit that down on another episode, but Live has to be one of the biggest failures when it comes to a sports game on a console generation, bar none. And I think that's something that needs to be revisited, but I can understand why Live franchise mode wasn't bad. Madden had no excuse.
Bro, but this is what I'm saying. It's like he acts as if there's no reasoning for SGO to make jokes. He has the bunny ears for negativity. He's not fit for Twitter. He's not fit for any criticism. That much is obvious because the shit gets to him. And yeah, he can go and bring up extreme examples like death threats. Those people are losers.
And there's no reason to co-sign any of that.
Right, exactly.
I'm not even going to begin to co-sign that. Those people are losers. But guess what? They're in the minority. You know what most people are saying? How about you come through on what you promised? And before
Bills, this is the problem. Like you said, those are the ones that get the attention. But when we literally try to tweet at them, and that's one reason why I stopped. When we tried to tweet at them, we get nothing in return. Not even a like or retweet or anything. We get nothing in return. And I'm not saying this because Scott O'Gallagher is here. Oh. I appreciate the fact that he comes to listen to us, but he also, actually listens when we do say something. I mean, when I was talking about another video way back, he, talked to me and told me about what he could and couldn't do about the basketball game on EA Sports. It's like, it's just simple stuff, And
I can direct this straight at Scott OG because he's been on the show. He's a great listener of the show, a great supporter of the show. Scott OG knows, and I'm sure he's listened to me before. I can say my things about 2K, but one thing I can't say about 2K is that they're going to directly sit there and say they're going to overhaul something, and then the next year it comes out, and it is possibly worse than the year before that. There is not one time. If you ask them a direct question on Twitter, they will answer. Most of them will answer you directly, and this is like, it's the thing. It's like Clint one day is your boy, and oh my God, this is my boy on Twitter. And then the next day you're getting, and I'm not going to name any names, you're getting called a toxic individual who is overly critical of the game. Yeah, Clint, maybe think about who that was that shit too.
Well, Bills, I mean, if we talking about the same person, he might be kind of accurate, though.
Don't do that. No, we're not talking about the same person. He's been on the podcast before.
Okay, never mind then.
Nah.
I got you.
So that's my thing, is they're your boys when you're saying great shit about the game. They're your boys when you're giving them free marketing. But the moment you say anything that's a little bit critical, and it doesn't even have to be disrespectful. And yeah, I got disrespectful, but quite frankly, he's been disrespectful to us with that sorry-ass line play we've gotten in former years. And guess what? I pay for the game, okay? He's getting paid to make the game.
This is the thing, Bills. I always, and one thing I love about you two guys, we all have the same mentality when we go at devs. We're not going at them with vitriol. We have honest, legit complaints because we all buy the game. Even, we just want, transparency. Hey, this is not right. What are you doing about it? And we get crickets, but soon as somebody say something about a cardboard Lamborghini, here he comes to say something. I mean, it's not right. It's like,
I hate, and I don't usually go at people like this, but it pisses me off because you can't look at the landscape in the perception of your game right now and then come out and say some shit like that to SGO because they put your game on a platform with a bunch of early ratings, videos, and all types of shit that they do. And now all of a sudden, because they make a joke about you, they have no credibility. All of a sudden, when they want quote unquote interviews, you're gonna reconsider it because they made a joke about something that actually is pretty accurate.
And I'm gonna throw it in because I know I haven't spoke much on this part, but I'm gonna read 2 tweets that came from Dream Code Games that actually adds on to this.
Oh yeah.
He was like, I think SGO puts out quality content. The memes pretty harmless, but do actually slightly ding the rep of what's otherwise professional. Quality reviews. Objectivity is rare unless an entity is 100% nonprofit. There will be bias. Twitter is the opposite of objective. And then part 2 of that tweet was in regards to Clint and EA Madden, their gameplay designer just publicly admitted to favoritism for media outlets that will give their game praise and not criticism under the guise of which outlet is objective. Valuable insight for when the reviews drop. And we already have this thing in gaming about how reviews go according to, which companies, studios like or dislike a particular media outlet. So here we are.
Yeah,
By
you're
the,
right.
by the way, Clint, you work for the same company that was sitting there cherry picking stats about most played mode in the game. Oh, what was it? Franchise. What are you using that to indicate? Popularity or quality? Which one? Because it sure as fuck wasn't quality.
It's just very disheartening because I think a lot of this could have been just avoided if, you don't have to give us the world. You don't have to give us 100% everything, but just give us some type of notion that you're trying to push for us to enjoy a game for the next, 8 months to the next one come out. Because I mean, I'm a franchise guy. The DJ is too. I'm very hardcore when it comes to franchising. If you can give me anything that's getting close to where it used to be back on the PlayStation 2 days, I won't say much, and I will continue to play your game until the next one come out. Because I don't have a problem. There is problems, but I don't have problems with the game on the field. It's good enough to me to say, okay, I can bear the burden and play this because
breaking news. I've been blocked by Clint Oldenburg. So guess what?
Just because you listening.
Wait a minute. Somebody has been listening to us.
So wait a minute, Clint.
Somebody listen. Somebody listens to us.
So Clint. Oh, so wait a minute. You prove my point even more that I just said, which was that when we tweet you about shit in the game, you don't respond.
Somebody listens to this podcast.
Let me call you wild, and all of a sudden I'm blocked. You see how this works, people? Now, nobody on this post, nobody in this podcast can tell me I'm lying because I literally said what he does, and then he did it just minutes later. The proof is in the pudding.
Well, I think Pooh just said because he clipped that the part.
It. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, but Pooh's tweeted at him, we've tweeted at him, and he doesn't respond when it's about the game, right? But the moment he puts something out and tags Clint Oldenburg in it, and it's me rashing his sorry ass offensive line. Yeah, you know the reason why Clint Oldenburg. Here's the reason why I rashed his sorry ass offensive line skills. Okay, this is the reason why, because your bum ass was on the Patriots roster at one time. Okay. Your bum ass was on the Patriots roster at one time, and I didn't even know. So when somebody told me you were a former football player, I went and looked at your stats, and I went and looked at how much you played, and you've developed this game longer than you played in the NFL. So don't you ever in your life try to talk down to the consumers in any way, or talk down to people who are giving you constructive criticism, because you are no better than anybody else. You're not. And I don't give a fuck if you block me. I don't follow you anyway. But when I see your clown ass say something, or one of your little freaking minions over there say something, somebody tweets me, somebody shares it, somebody sends it to me. And guess what? On this podcast, we talk about it.
G-Rob says Clint in the chat with his KD burner account.
And that's and guess what, bro? That's fine. You know why Mike Wang doesn't even get this energy from me? Because Twitter Mike is more a man of the people.
Yeah, you know what? I was just about to say that. You know what? We do have our issues with Mike Wayne because the way he has been dealing with Twitter and the people who don't want simulation.
But he doesn't move like a chump. Mike
right,
Wayne's
that's what I'm saying.
Guy.
Right. The way Mike moves comes with humbleness. There's humbleness to him.
Yes.
Like he's asking questions, and that's what you want developers to come to the consumers with questions because we have answers. It's just you got to ask us.
But see, this is the thing, and shout out to the NLCS podcast with D for 3 and Andrew. I highly recommend you listen to them guys every Sunday. This is the type of thing they've been talking about. They said they want a community because they specialize in basketball games. They say they want people that are devs or community managers that have that approach. Like, tell us what you want, or is this something in the game that needs to be done instead of just having, adverse attitude to the people who are playing their games. It's like what Bill's just displayed is basically it's always build up from what's happened from years of Madden. Right. This is nothing that just happened because of a beta going wrong or patch notes or that patch notes from a franchise. This is something that's been going on from at least the PS3 days.
And here's something I can also add on. If it wasn't Clint, it would have been the next person. So that's why Bills is like, when Clint takes stuff personally, he really shouldn't take any of this personally. I'm like, but you take shit out. But the thing is, with Clint taking shit out on people, that's then you don't need to be in the game industry because people are gonna. I'm like, you're in it obviously to make a living, whatever. But number one is to satisfy the consumer. And right now, even though your numbers, stats, whatever you want to read that tell half the story, say yes, you're satisfying the consumers. Actually, it's balanced. Yes, money-wise, they're buying the game, but no, because the game is not of quality.
I need 2K to come out with something.
It's not even just 2K.
No, it's not. I'm just saying
it's just the fact that this has gone on for far too long. You're talking about more than a decade long.
Yeah, this happened. I was about to say, this is saying this has been going on. I was saying this has been going on prior to Clint even getting the EA.
Well, no, he's been there the whole entire time.
No, I'm just saying he's been there
the whole entire time.
No, but I'm just telling you the level of feedback or lack thereof from EA football has been going on prior. Right. It's been going on.
He wasn't in the front lines because I remember he was an intern because I seen him in the old videos back in the day. He was just like sitting there just listening. But yeah,
this goes back from the Ian Cumming days. This how long it's been going on.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, he's been there even before that.
Right.
Because remember he has he probably was just there as an intern. So yeah.
Clint, I have a question since I know you're probably still listening.
Nah,
I don't think he's listening now.
Nah, he is. Hey Clint, I don't know where you are right now. Probably Orlando. Who knows?
Hot spot.
You played 2 games in your NFL career, and you didn't start any of them. So, my question is, how much experience do you have with how it happens on Sundays than us? 2 games?
Hey, man.
I'm just wondering. I mean, we don't even. What's funny is they don't even have a full-fledged practice, which would be his area of expertise. They don't even have that in the game. Don't you find that funny? Is that why you won't put it in? Is it like some type of self Is
Wow.
that like something that's like traumatic for you, like the practice field, because that's where you spent your career?
You know what I heard the whole entire time was the ether beat. I had that playing in my head the whole
I
entire
mean,
time this
I
segment
mean,
has been going on.
I'm
And
just,
that duck in the corner should be well roasted by now. I'm like, it's been cooking,
I'm just
hot,
wondering. No,
boiling. I'm like, the smoke detector's going off.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
look,
geez.
look. Clint went and he played 2 games in the NFL. And no, I'm not a football player anymore. I played in high school, so he could say, "Yeah, I played in college." And where did you play? Well, I performed twice at the Apollo, so I guess we're even in our career paths, right?
And I was
But
that was actually had a starring role on TV in a high school championship. And
I mean, well, I just find it funny that he has the bunny ears for all negativity, like I said. And that's why I rasped you, Clint, because I know you would prove me right. You never disappoint me. You never disappoint me. You always prove what people say about you to be correct, which is that you're sensitive. You're sensitive, bro. You're sensitive. You're Ralph Tresvant's hit single.
he's
You're
using my line.
I'm using your line. You are sensitive, bro. I'm talking sensitive like if you eat peanuts and you're allergic to them, sensitive. I'm talking like just stub your toe sensitive. Like you're that sensitive, bro.
Like sensitive, like he just saw a rat and jumped on top of the
Sensitive like
table.
sensitive like the turbo button on Pez for everybody who plays Pez. You're that sensitive, bro.
Mm.
But shout out to Scott OG and Mike Wang and Rob Jones and
And you gotta think, and you also got shout out to the Sony devs over at MLB.
shout out to the
Yeah, I mean
Sony
that's what I'm saying. It's like
devs.
like I said, these other companies for the most part. I mean, sports games in general, we have our gripes with damn near every game, but it just for some reason, you know,
Yeah, we need.
Madden is the only one that kind of gives us like the short end of the stick every single time. It's
Now,
like you said with MLB, PES, yeah, hell, even with FIFA, NHL,
No,
we kind of get quality for the most part out of all these other games.
I'll even say this. Ryan Moody, I kind of get it what you say about them now, bro. I kind of get why you are so
upset.
like why you're so critical, but not even in your breakdowns, like why you're so critical of their behavior. I get it now, bro. Because the thing is, and people have talked about Ryan Moody's videos of, some people think it's toxic. I think it's more so oversaturation. Their quality, I just think it's oversaturation. Just my opinion. At the same time, what I'm seeing is that they consider you toxic, but a lot of the shit you say is true. I question the mode that you display the game in, which is mutt sometimes. But when shit like this happens and when I see it happen to other people, it just kind of makes me say, yeah, like Moody and people like him kind of have a point when they talk about y'all, when they say that y'all are sensitive, when they say that the reason y'all are sensitive is because maybe y'all know you're not doing a good job.
I just think the proof is in the pudding when it comes to Madden. Madden, I mean, it's one thing to just have the exclusive license, and then you keep coming up short, or you just want to have the wow factor and all of these other games. I mean, all the other things around the sport of football. It does not come off good. You get anger and you get upset because the diehards who've been there all a while is getting pushed to the side for people who want to open their wallets. I mean, say what you want about 2K. 2K has the same type of mantra, but their game is so far ahead, you can still play that game and have an excellent experience as far as the sport being respected.
Of course.
NHL, the same thing. PES, the same thing. MLB the show, without their glitches. I mean, hell, even with their glitches, you still get a pretty good football experience. So, I mean, baseball experience. So now, when we're looking at what 2K coming out with now, and you hear the word authentic experience, hopefully they could just continue that line of what they're trying to do. And once it comes out in 2022 or 2021, well, 2022, hopefully it comes out then. And Madden just need to step their game up and just like, look, I don't care about superstar KO. I don't care about face of the franchise. All that stuff is cool, but you got to get what's on the field correct first.
How about this? How about if your employees don't care about what we have to say about the game, that you just get off Twitter? Because why are you on there otherwise?
Well,
It's
they
funny
did that.
because
I mean, they did that last year, right?
Yeah, I thought they were supposed to. It was either them. I know 2K is hiring an actual community manager, but I thought EA was supposed to have a community manager to sort all this
Bro, they
out.
hopped off Twitter for the longest, and now they come back sensitive as ever, bro.
They came back once they found out that the superstar traits were actually popular. That's when they started to come back. Because remember that first 4 months that Madden came out, they didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Which is even more hilarious that Madden School literally put out a glossary of the traits, and now y'all are releasing these ugly ass Marvel covers.
I don't want. Yeah, that
was the biggest fear that you was going to treat them as superheroes, and that was what some people said was going to happen when these traits were put in the game, and now here we are.
And see, that's the thing that I'm talking about. It's like you're not respecting the sport first. You're giving these wow factor entities to these kids or these other, grown people who like to play an arcade experience, but you still on the back end, you're still trying to lock down the license for a simulation game. It's like, this is exactly the type of bullshit I'm talking about. You give us this. We want to lock down the simulation experience so no other company can make it. And then you giving us these superstar stuff with people doing backflips, playing Mortal Kombat, or they got these traits where you can, people are fumbling as soon as you run up on them. Nobody can catch an interception. Somebody's super fast. That's not, you can't lock down the simulation license when it's like that.
And then meanwhile, when you have cutscenes play, everyone's the same goddamn height.
Right. It's like, this is the stuff that makes us mad because like you guys could really listen. Madden's pedigree and Madden, the way the game looks, they could do it, but it's just like they just don't. It's just I don't understand it. I just don't.
Okay.
What just happened?
Okay, so apparently, and the only reason I'm seeing this is because literally it popped up in my mentions right before I guess he blocked me.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody addressed him about his corny response to SGO. They said what this seems to miss is that people who offer criticism are in fact fans as well. They simply feel they deserve more substantial additions and refinement to a franchise mode over the course of a few years than merely seeing a coach hanging out in his office, which response. And then this was Clint's response. No, what is being missed here is I was referring to the difference between fans and journalists. Criticism is always welcome.
Oh boy.
The manner in which it's delivered appropriately is based on the source, a fan or a journalist who informs fans.
Wait a minute. I will give him the benefit of the doubt and say I can understand you don't want to deal with criticism if it's delivered to you a certain way, but you also have to understand that you're in a position where this game has been too far behind for too long. It's not like this is the first time that I can understand that all the games was on point and then this game was jacked up and people are like really coming at you sideways. I get it.
It was a joke. That's what gets me about it.
That's another entity that I understand that. But it's like you acting like your shit never stunk before. It's like, no, this has been going on for over, like DJ said, and I said, over a decade. It's like it's been a problem for way too long.
But my thing is, it's like
Pete puts out, he said at the same time they let guys like W who hate sim shape the game to their preference. This is perfect right there. This is another reason why you got people like me, DJ, and Bills actually we're upset behind this type of stuff because of stuff like this.
Well, I tell you what, Bills, you have a decision to make. because you were looking forward to this game. Are you gonna buy the game, or are
I
you
already
gonna?
pre-ordered it. Am I gonna play it or
You,
not?
you can cancel the pre-order. I'm just saying. I'm like, the person who
Okay,
blocked you is the one who's been making the game,
so
and now he's showing you the door one way. It's time to show him the door the other way.
here's the thing, and maybe I put my foot in my mouth before by saying this, but this is the credo that I live in, unfortunately, or live by. When you are a fan of something or you are a patron of something, and I've said this about Sim fans before, um, there are certain times where you will have standards for things and you will say, okay, I want this game to have, like, for example, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want franchise fleshed out. I am 100% understanding of that, right? Now, the decision to play it or not, unfortunately, doesn't just hinge on him because the game is offering things that I do want to indulge in. Now, obviously, I, whether involuntarily or voluntarily, can't at all tweet at Clint any longer, which is fine because other than tweeting at him and asking about the game, I never did anyway. Didn't follow him, whatever. So, I mean, as far as the game is concerned, the official EA Sports account didn't block me. Clint Oldenburg blocked me. Clint Oldenburg, in the grand scheme of things, is a failed NFL player who wears a polo and fucks the game up every year.
Mm.
So I mean, come on, bro. A polo and khaki pants doesn't decide whether I play the game. Unfortunately. Now, I mean, if he goes and starts, trying to blacklist people in other ways,
like get your account canceled,
like get my
that
account
that's happened to you before, and
right? Like now, if you get my account banned, then there might be a different type of energy.
My thing is, I will put it like this, Bills. If you want my advice, I would just stand by with me and what's the name, King David dude. Just get it on EA Access, play it. If you like it, keep it. I refuse. I refuse to throw $65 or $70 to. I just don't do it no more.
But that's what's bad about it, bro. Is I already got the game, and I like it, but it's the people that make it that they always claim, oh, they're such great people. So that's the thing with Clint. It's like I don't really like. He's not really even important. What's important is what the game is giving to me. They haven't done anything personal to me. They haven't said anything personal to me. There are other people that work on that team that actually do a pretty good job. As far as the gameplay department is concerned. So I mean, as far as him, I mean, he's just proving me right. But I'm gonna play the game. I mean, there's nothing that they've done to oppress me. There's no reason for me to not play it.
Wow, I'm looking at that response.
Now
he's claiming Twitter as if you cross the Twitter. Like what?
What do you say?
No, read it. Read the whole response.
I got it.
That is hilarious.
I get it. He said nowhere in the game development job description does it say you must accept personal attacks and slander. You want to provide feedback on the game, great. You want to go after people personally, that crosses my boundaries. It's my Twitter boundaries must be respected.
My Twitter boundaries. He opened the door when he responded to a public tweet.
No, but hold on. No. See, this dude just keeps creating these moments of getting okay. So he says what you just read basically. Nowhere in the game development job description does it say you must accept personal attacks and slander. It doesn't say you got to be on Twitter either, does it? Because your motherfuckers left it. So, I mean, yeah, you must accept personal attacks and slander. I didn't attack you personally. I attacked your football career or lack thereof. Okay.
Marcus Whitman said it. He said it perfectly. He said, "Look, man, I get it. It's exhausting to have your work ethic, passion for Madden question, but don't take it out on us passionate, angry fans for resorting to humor to explain why we can't get the simple changes we've been asking for.
Pretty much.
But I mean,
We've been asking, like I
And
said, for franchise, but we've been asking for the basic shit.
wait a minute though. No, wait a minute, because
we
now
don't
even
even know.
though
We don't even know who's even
No.
responsible for franchise
hold
mode.
on, DJ, because now there's another thing that I'm gonna get him on. This is the last thing. I'm very much into the English language, and when I just thought about what slander meant, he's also wrong on that because it says the action or crime of making a false spoken statement damaging to a person's reputation. I'm sorry. Do you not have the reputation as a failed football player? Am I making this up? Motherfucker, you were suited up for 2 games and didn't play. So what would you call that? An accomplishment? Would that be the opposite of failure? Success? I'm sorry. I now I got to look up the definition of success. No, it wasn't slander. It was facts that you didn't like. But guess what? They're facts. You know what facts we don't like? The fact that franchise is still garbage. How about that fact? What's more offensive? You tell me.
Wow.
That's crazy. It's just stuff like that. Just I
That
mean,
duck has
and,
been
and we had to tell this to other people who was on our podcast. It's like we're not asking for nothing major. These are things that used to be in the game that you guys taken out and decided to put what's his name, that damn dude from the Migos and Snoop Dogg in the damn game. Why the hell they're in the damn game?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That one.
Why are they in the game? We can't get legit holdouts on franchise mode. Why you got all these other celebrities and all this flash and all these glitter and gold stuff in the stadium for superstar mode?
Can't really negotiate contracts.
Right.
Don't have a coaching staff. Don't have wear and tear. The weather doesn't really affect the game like
exactly.
This is the players are the same freaking height in the cutscene.
And DJ, all these things, pretty much everything we just mentioned right there, it used to be in games generation or 2 generations ago. That's the type of stuff I don't like.
How's it? I'm sorry to harp on the same size on the cutscenes, but every other game has cutscenes, and they're able to keep the consistency of players' heights in relation to each other. Like, how do they? To me, that's just pure laziness because that's been in the game for a decade.
It just don't make sense, man. It's like you get this type of stuff, and then you got the nerve to go at people over a meme. And for the most part, we were all cool at one point when it comes to the Clint. Like, we were all cool, and what type of we know what kind of vibe we come with. We just want honest dialogue. We don't this stuff with Bills and myself and DJ. We don't get upset until you start to disrespect us. It's not like we just go out to look for people to curse out. We don't do that.
That's how Ian Cummings got in trouble back in the day. It's the same exact stuff, except it's worse now because it's like Ian Cummings. That was like an indirect side, like backhanded, like slight.
Right.
But this right here is like, oh, I can't handle the fact that that somebody made a joke, and like Bill said, Ralph Tresvant, he has become.
And that's the thing, man. It's like VF said, bro. Until we feel like we have been disrespected, ignored, or
just ignored,
lied to,
right? Yeah.
All of these things, we don't do this, but he brought this upon himself.
It's the reason why. It's one of the main reasons why me and Bills and DJ started this podcast, just to give out honest, straightforward opinions about these games. We're not here to just bash or just talk bad about every single game we come across. If the game is good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. If it has good elements, like we're probably like the only podcast that tells you that there are good elements in Live 14. We're probably like the only one that tells you that there's good, honestly, good and bad in most of these games. Some people are just hardcore one way on either side. We're like, look, if you want to play this in this game, don't do it. You're going to be frustrated. Or if you want to play that in the same game, that mode will give you a better experience. It's like we even offer we talked about earlier. We even talked about offering sliders to make Madden better. It's
But
like
you
we're
know,
not here to like give you stupid memes to be mad
you
at.
know what else pisses me off though, VF, is the people who say, well, this is how you communicate with the devs. You have to give them things. You have to give them a thing that they can fix, but you have to also give a solution. Well, we tried that, so now I tried this, and it got
OG
the same
said
response.
Waiters is in the game.
Hey, nah, because I asked him if J.R. Smith and Waiters got in yet.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. But I mean, see, this is the thing. You're exactly right, Bills. It's like we're grown. All three of us, we're grown. Everybody who we pretty much come in contact with, we talk about these games are grown. We don't need nobody else to tell us how to communicate with devs. We're not one of these losers that are in our mom's basement that's hoping that we get this MUT card and we're mad at the devs because we don't get it. We know how to talk properly about getting things done. The problem is for the most part, first and frame rates. I mean, let's just put it out there. First and frame rates rarely ever get a response out of any devs outside of OG. And this is like recent because we didn't even know he was listening to us for all this time. But we've been honest, straightforward, and we're very opinionated, but it's warranted opinions that you can go back and say, okay, I see where they're coming from. They might be a little heavy-handed, but they're not saying anything that's out of the way or left. We should not have to make a stupid meme or cuss somebody out to get feedback and or block. It shouldn't be that way. I mean, we talk to you like we're grown. And that's the stuff that frustrates me the most because now I got to act the damn fool just for you to say, oh, what's your problem? Look, bro, I just want regular shit in franchise mode. Wendy shouldn't have to tweet that to you guys.
I'm
Bro,
glad
oh, go ahead.
I was about to say, I'm glad the game's on TNT. I definitely wanted to watch this.
Bro, you know what it's like? It's almost like when your mother, when you ask her for something, and she keeps like low key, like just shooing you away, like, oh yeah, whatever. And then you finally get frustrated, and you're like, Ma, I asked you like 5 times, gotta go to my friend's house. And then all of a sudden she got some attitude coming back. It's like, no, but if you listen the first 5 times I asked you, I wouldn't have came to you with this attitude. This attitude built up over time.
I mean, that's the main thing. This fixed franchise mode hashtag is nothing that just came about a month and a half ago. This is something that's been going on. I can at least say Madden 12?
Yes. Like I said,
at least
one of the last real videos I made on Madden was concerning the franchise mode for Madden 12. And I went all into it. Unfortunately, I had Chris Brown's song playing throughout the whole thing. It's actually a nice song, by the way. But yeah.
Which one was it?
It was
with you?
It's I think it goes dun 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 champion.
Oh, okay.
Champion, yeah.
That
champion.
one. I was born yeah.
But that's the thing, is like Madden 12 franchise mode, it wasn't the best, but it was decent. You could play it.
It was the last real franchise mode that they had before they ripped everything out and then they rebranded it with MMO features and just all this like shortchanged everything else. And then when you thought they were gonna do something with it, they kind of just doubled down on the MMO, and now we're stuck with franchise mode that is pretty much MMO.
Let's look at some of the
man. Just real quick, I want to say, like, this is what I always say, and this is what we always say: we give credit when credit is earned.
Absolutely.
If you do something great in a game, we talked greatly about the franchise mode.
Nobody outside.
I mean, we talked greatly about the beta gameplay. We criticized the franchise mode, and we've criticized other things. But we
were the first ones
to say anything positive.
We were the first ones to say Madden 19 RPM was great, and then they took it out and we turned around and trashed it. Some people literally trashed the game just because the name was Madden, and that's not fair. We honestly gave the game praise because of what it did right, and then when they took it out, we said what was wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, we shouldn't be bashed for that. I mean, we just have to be honest. Let's see. Let me look at some of the. Mr. Ham says here's the funny part. All EA have to do is port Madden 05 franchise mode into the game, that or Madden 12. I can agree. Poster
Oh,
King said they do cut scenes, but to not redo sidelines. Don't even get me started with the sidelines in Madden.
oh,
I'm not
and by
doing
the
that.
way, update. I just unfollowed Clint, so he's cut off.
I don't think I was ever followed. I think I unfollowed him when he unfollowed us after the NWO debacle. I
And
unfollowed him then.
and last I checked, he's history just like the Redskins name. So
Mr. Ham also say Bill sounding like Jalen Rose when he roasted Skip for average 1.7 per game in high school.
Look, man. Look, the proof is in the pudding. He was on like four practice squads. He only got signed to these teams when the third guy was injured. And like I said, he played 2 games, which was probably like a snap or so. And then they took his sorry ass out. And yeah.
G Rob says Raiders don't mean shit in this game. On the surface, they're okay. They could be better. I don't know. Did we do any sliders on Madden 20? Because I didn't touch any.
I did, yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing.
G Rob, I'll say this. A big reason why it seems like the ratings don't mean anything is because they're wrong. I mean, just being quite frank. The ratings do matter, but you have to adjust them because unfortunately a lot of the roster updates don't really do the game justice as far as what they do with the ratings. So
Pete also said they said themselves they will make franchise mode a priority. That was Madden 18 or 19. They did say that. I remember that. It could have been 18.
they said no, that was after 20.
Oh, it was after. Yeah, you right. No,
last year they said they was going to recommit to franchise.
Yeah, exactly. It was
that
around
was
that
20.
time. Was it?
Yeah. That's why it's so much upward right now because just
Andrew
last
Wilson
year
at the Game Informer last year.
No, hold on.
Yes, it was last year.
It wasn't before then.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if you're in like some time.
No.
Hold on, I'm gonna show you. Hold on.
No, somebody on Twitter says something about Madden 18 and 19, and it was quoted for them to say they was going to recommit the franchise mode. That I don't think that. I thought that was prior to 20.
They said they were going to.
Madden NFL 20 makes a recommitment to franchise. Game Informer. This is on April 25th, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was 2019. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
This was prior to Madden 20 coming out. Okay, I got it. Okay. That's where I got mixed up at.
Damn, because Deion Waiters didn't want any of those problems. I saw that.
That wasn't Andrew Wilson. That was Mike Young. So I did call out Andrew Wilson. I apologize. It wasn't Andrew Wilson. It was Mike Young. But still.
Yeah, because that's what I thought. I was like, because prior to Madden 20 coming out, they did say they was going to make a recommitment. I don't know why I thought it was after 19. Don't pay me no mind. I'm on drugs. Pooh said, I don't think I'm saying how you respond to criticism is personal, but that's what he's telling me with these responses. You're not built for. We know. Listen.
Yeah, I've actually been following this as it's been going on live, and
April 25th. And we went over this. I want to say a week ago.
Yeah.
So he said, it's the most interesting year-round sport in my opinion. We care about it all year long, and there are phases to it. With Madden 20, we want to bring to life the ability to have decisions that can impact your franchise based on how you handle personnel, morale, teammates, and employees. That just wasn't in Madden at all. It feels like only a stats management game. It still feels like that. Why would you even? And then he goes on to say, years to come, they're gonna make more of a commitment. And what do we see?
We got the less than a tuner update patch note.
Right. Like you will continue to wait long enough.
And you know what? This is another thing, and I know this is a little off, just a little bit. But Mr. Ham says, "OG, I see your face in the crowd at the Laker game." But look, I think this has been going on for years now. Like OG has made appearances in 2K as a coach.
Jay-Z was in the crowd one year in Brooklyn.
Yeah, Jay-Z was in
the crowd in one game. See, those are the type of things that just make you want to just play their game because you have that level of immersion.
Check this out. Like Ramon Russell, who does MLB The Show, his face is littered in the crowd.
Right.
And a lot of those replay shots, the crowd's acting crazy. I'm like,
Yeah, it's just those type of things. It's good to see the devs or putting their little touch on the game. It's not really intrusive or anything, but it's just like, oh, it's kind of like Easter egg esque. Like, oh, hey man,
Yeah.
I see such and such. It's like
Yeah,
that's
because
what,
you would think stuff like that is reserved for like single player campaign type games. You come
right,
across Easter eggs like The Last of Us 2. You come across plenty of Easter eggs, but
right.
yeah, in sports
Side
games.
note,
Oh, what's up?
this is my favorite court. In this little bubble is this one that they're playing on right now.
Uh
Oh,
huh.
okay.
I love this court. Just the cover, and the color, and the design of it is just dope to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the lighting in the arena seems a bit different. Seems a little brighter.
I was about to say I thought that was gonna go in.
Reggie Jackson.
So, before we head out, y'all got anything extra y'all want to talk about before we
Um,
go?
I did hear about something and we're still stuck on EA. Unfortunately, with this, hearing that they have an interest in buying Warner Brothers
Oh
Studios.
God, no, I don't want to talk about that. I'm gonna be mad because Mortal Kombat gonna be
Well,
tore up, man. I'm gonna be mad because they're gonna mess Mortal Kombat up, and I'm
well,
gonna be
that and Batman and stuff.
yep, Batman gonna be jacked up. I don't know, man.
But
No,
it kind of harpens like I in response to that when I saw it earlier I was just like, well, you might as well say bye bye to Warner Brothers Studios because then we can
we're
refer to
not.
the long list of studios
Yeah,
that
we're not
EA
about to
has
kill off.
killed.
We're not about to kill off Mortal Kombat. We're not doing that. And no, we no, hell no. Y'all know I like my
And,
fighting games. They're not
and
gonna do that.
and obviously I'm not gonna be able to read that list. Y'all want to see the list? There it is.
Yeah, I'm not with that. That ain't happening. If that happens, I'm gonna be really pissed. They no. Bills, what you got, man? You got anything? Oh, wait a minute. Before you hold on,
Go
before
ahead,
you,
go ahead.
this is another good thing. Look, Ham said it. Yeah, it started back in 2K13 with the faces in the crowd, and ironically, yep, Live 03 had rappers as playable characters. I remember that you can unlock the rappers in Live 03. Yo, Live 03, 04, 05, man. They was on a run with those games. Oh, speaking of that, I'm gonna be streaming Live 04 on Sunday. But
Mhm.
those are Bills, you can attest to. Those are some pretty good basketball games back then.
I liked Live 03, even though I never owned it. I played it at my cousin's house. Live 04 was.
Was that the one with Jason Kidd on the cover?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jason Kidd's on the cover.
Oh
On
yeah,
3.
because I had I actually owned the soundtrack.
The disc that came with it. Yeah.
In my household as a kid, I had to pick between one of the basketball games and one of the football games. So I chose 2K3 that year. So I didn't get Live 03, but I played at my cousin's house. It was pretty good. And Live 04, I chose the next year, and I actually didn't get 2K.
But man, back then, man, both basketball games for the most part was pretty much on point. You know what I'm saying? You was okay getting 2K3 or Live 03 or 2K4 or Live 04. You know what I'm saying? With 2K5.
I
See,
don't
this
know.
one thing. See,
Live
this
back
thing.
then, live at that point was starting to get on my nerves.
Yeah, I mean, because it was a little. It kind of started to get a
It
little.
started getting
arcadey.
out of hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
Who
But
did he
no,
pay to write this article?
I'm sorry, but
What was
I'm
that?
Yeah, I'm just saying you the DM. You'll see.
But I'm sorry, 2K NBA. We talk a lot about the 2K5 versions of games, like NHL 2K5 was good, NFL 2K5 was good, MLB College Hoops was good. NBA 2K5 was trash. I don't care what nobody. That game was horrible.
2K5 was abysmal to me.
NBA 2K5 was horrible.
My favorite 2Ks. See, the thing about this generation, some of them kind of run together. They were all quality, but none of them are really distinct to me. Not that they weren't quality. Like I said, they were good, but 2K20 sticks out. 2K11 sticks out. And 2K7 sticks out. Those are like the three for me, probably.
That's a recent article.
Yeah.
May
With that headline. No, I see it. With that headline.
Mm-hmm. But read what they say about what they say about.
Man, y'all need to stop. Man, we about to go, man.
Go.
Man, we about to go, man. Hey, man. Hey, man.
No,
let's roll with the outros, man. Y'all stupid, man.
That's a
Y'all
very
dumb, man. I'm not doing this, man.
He actually played on the Jets. When?
Hey,
It
man,
must have been for like a practice, and they
I
cut him.
appreciate everybody who came here, man. But you a fool, Bills. You bull.
They literally said he only appeared in 2 NFL games, but he's nonetheless developed a lasting football reputation.
That's what made me so.
What? Here's how Oldenburg went
I'm
from reserve Jets lineman to Madden developer.
I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Y'all can go ahead and read that.
And there's a
There it
video
is.
of
Did
making
you send the
of
link?
NC.
Please tell me you didn't send the link, VF.
What you talking about? I ain't sent no link. I didn't put no link in the chat. What are you talking about?
Yo, before we go, y'all read that link you just sent.
Wait a minute. Wait, hold up. He was a tight end. I didn't know that.
Oh my god.
And neither did the NFL.
Yo, there was like, well, you can't block for shit. Can you run? Then it's like, oh shit, you can't run either. Well,
Wait a minute. Hold up. New England wasted a pick on him? A fifth rounder?
Bills. What you got to say about that, man?
I already told you Belichick's horrible at drafting. I don't know why you even asked me.
But they worded that Oldenburg wasn't long for New. What that pause for New England? No. Oh, Patriots cut him during his rookie year. Then he signed with the Jets. Oh, he was last with the Skins. That's what happened.
Stop.
Wait, hold up.
At this.
When the Rams cut him, when did he go there?
Oh my god,
Denver?
bro, I can't stop laughing at this.
I swear, I thought he was only with like maybe 2-3 teams. He was. Damn, he could pass around like a Philly blunt. Jeez.
Y'all stupid, man.
The more he gets smoked, the smaller he gets.
Yo.
Jeez.
What y'all got before we go, man? Y'all a fool, man. All I did. Hey, listen.
Oh my god.
I just passed on the information to show that he was low key washed up. That's all I said.
Spit my Crown Royal out.
Yeah, his design. Yeah, design intern in January of 2012 was coincided with the end of his career.
Yep.
Bro, don't say DJ because I'm the one that.
I think
he's talking about the joke. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Oh my god, I'm sweating right now. I'm laughing so hard.
What you got, Bills, before we get out of
I
here,
don't got
man?
nothing, bro.
He wears multiple hats. What?
You got that right.
Oh shit.
Well, definitely not as community manager.
Bro. They say practice makes perfect, but this motherfucker was on every practice team in the league.
He made them other teams perfect, but not. He wasn't perfect for them.
And practice make perfect. All right. You see what's going on now.
Oh my lord, I can't.
And I hope the cop out is at least I played it. Wait a minute, a gamer named Joe. Oh, okay, never mind. It was talking about the guy who won the tournament without passing the ball.
His name was Joke, right?
Yeah, his name was Joke.
Yeah, that's very fitting. Well, DJ, you got anything before we go?
Wow. Yeah.
I can't stop laughing, dude.
Boy. All right. So last night I had a stream. Go check it out. It's on Twitch under Evo325. That's EV as in Victor O, just the letter, no, not the number. 325 on Twitch. It was on State of K2. Also have other videos like the part where I was a truck artist in Pez and gave up a 2-0 lead, pretty much in the same mode as the Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl. But
you got jokes.
You can also check out my website. It's at dj81.org. I have blogs up there. Last blog was The Last of Us 2 review, basically a review on my end. Also, there's an article before that. Yeah, that was on 2K. So OG, you may want to read that one. And at the end of the day, somebody's gonna wind up resuscitating Bills after he chokes to death after all this. You're still reading it?
Yes, because it gets funnier. So it says, just pay attention to the trend here. It says Clint Oldenburg currently wears multiple hats at EA Sports. He worked as a ratings adjuster since September 2018, so he's fucking up there, and a senior designer with a focus on gameplay design since November 2018. In October 2019, Oldenburg moved up to Madden's associate producer, again with a heavy emphasis on gameplay. This is the first sentence of the next paragraph. I want to see if you see the common denominator. The past few years,
I was right there too.
So right when he gets his promotions, the past few years haven't gone too well for EA. I'm done.
Well, I mean that was that's accurate.
I got
Wow.
nothing left, bro.
Well,
Bullets out the chamber. I'm done.
person's
The hell happened to DJ?
Yeah, the quick come and choke this dude out.
Oh, Quint choked his ass out.
Quit said talk that shit now. I'm coming back before next. Yo, what the fuck happened?
Wait, I'm here, right? Y'all can hear me, right?
Bro, it sounds like somebody knocked the mic over and put you in a Kimura.
Hey, they sound like they just. Hey, it sounded like he was in his gaming chair and he just snatched him clean up out the chair.
Bro, literally, it sounded like somebody unplugged your mic and then just like choked you out. I was like, what the
Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Like he just got choked out.
I was wondering what happened. I was just like, wait, man, I'm still here. It was like looked up and I saw the thing not
If you go,
pulsating.
hey,
So
yo,
it
you
was
go,
like, wow.
hey, go back and listen to it once it's finished. It sounds like you got choked up, yo.
him out like Homer Dick Bart.
Yeah, it sounds like you got snatched up, bro, straight up.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm still stuck on the fact that he wants to claim public Twitter as my Twitter. Boundaries. I'm like, you responded to public Twitter, you will be shot down on public Twitter. That's the way it works. Go back to private Twitter.
It's a public platform, yo. It's like when you put something out there, you're going to get the feedback that you don't want. So it's just
And at the end of the day, it was your response to somebody else's Twitter that got you fucked up.
Not even that. Not even that. He wants to talk about it's his Twitter. Remind me, I said this on YouTube. That's even more reason why he has no case. Get him out of here, man.
All right, y'all. Listen, once again, appreciate everybody coming through another great episode. I knew this was going to be a good one, and everybody who's in the chat, you guys made this happen.
Yeah,
everybody from Chris Thomas, who's been since day one, to OG G Rob done came through. And you don't see G Rob much as far as the chat go.
LT Magic,
LT's here. Yep, King David. If y'all haven't already, join the Discord, man. We can continue to talk about this throughout the week. I mean, they don't stop just because we're not live. You come to the Discord, and if you want to download the podcast, some people don't like YouTube or whatever. To let somebody know that they can go to Google or iTunes, they can download the podcast and listen to us while they're at work or, whatever the case may be. I'm trying to think. DJ, when are you streaming again?
When? Right now, I just schedule them on Wednesdays for right now. So right now, just once a week on Wednesday, 7:30 EST.
Yeah, that link is in the description.
Also, another cool thing: the one of the people that subscribed is all the way in Sweden.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool.
When I was streaming, it was around like 2:33. It was about like 2:33 o'clock or 3:30 a.m. their time. And he thought it was a perfect time. So,
yeah, you know what? I got a question. Whatever happened to that kid that used to listen to us from the Netherlands? Remember that?
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
I wonder what happened to him. He used to he was just like Chris Thomas. He used to come in and
life probably happened.
Yeah, he literally was a kid, so I can understand that.
Yeah, you got to think about COVID affected everybody across the globe.
Because at the time he was like 15, and he was living in the Netherlands.
We got a BB situation.
Wait, what's going on?
We got a BB situation talking about 15. Dude.
No, the kid. No, seriously, the kid was 15. They used to listen to us. He's from the Netherlands. He used to listen to every time we went live, and I haven't seen him in about a year. So he probably did grow up and doing other things. Who knows? Shout out to him though. Bills, when are you gonna start streaming? I know you haven't. I know you said you got your channel up. You let people know about your channel.
I'm debating whether I want to wait until EA Access comes out and maybe stream it a little bit. Madden 21.
Man, you gotta get some practice runs in.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's what I did with the. I'm sorry, because that's what I did with the other two before I went live on Wednesday. So
I could always download No Man's Sky and just kind of mess around on there.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought about streaming tonight. If I do, it'll be a test run because I still have OBS, but is another software I want to use. I might just have a test up or something, just see what it's like. But I'm definitely gonna be streaming tomorrow. I haven't figured out what it'll be. Probably gonna be Last of Us 2. I need to finish. I really need to finish that game. But nevertheless, I'm gonna be putting more content out. I am gonna give you guys an update on the Facebook side. So it's gonna be just a fan page where you can follow us there. Like I said, Discord. Pete just joined the Discord. Appreciate that. Anybody else, man? Look, it's free to join Discord. Just download the app on your phone, and we could be, roasting anybody and everybody through the Discord. Ask Pooh. He's been the whipping boy on Discord like forever, so he knows all about it. I guess other than that, man, I guess we're good. Y'all good? Yeah,
Yep.
Nate?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
This was fun. Hey, see y'all guys Thursday, or you can catch us up and then catch
Tuesday.
us. Yeah, I don't know what my days are. I'm like Joe Biden.
I told you, stuck in a wow.
Catch us on Tuesday, or you can catch us on any of the streams that I put up or any of us put up. So you guys be easy, you guys take it easy, you guys be safe, and appreciate everybody. Stream Ghosts should see. I'm broke. I don't have the game yet. All right, I'll see you guys next time. All right, y'all. Yeah, I do need to get that game though. I do need to get it.
Yeah,
all
it's
right,
a good
fellas.
game.
Yeah, a lot of people telling me. All right, guys. Peace.
Peace out.